I'm Andrew from the Dad.io podcast. Life supplies the inputs and we supply the outputs. Part of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the show you're listening to now. Shows on the network are individually owned and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other fantastic and amazing geeky shows at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
Stand by for a brand new episode of All Things Good and Nerdy.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 387 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. This is recorded live on Sunday, January 12th, 2020. It's a brave new year. We all have... Get your 2020 hindsight jokes out of the way now, folks. Go ahead. I'm sure someone's got some. They've all been on the internet, so just work them out of your system.
This year looks pretty good.
There you go. Willie, it's your turn for a 2020 joke.
Surprisingly, I never did that joke. I did appreciate it, but I never repeated it.
Right.
But in hindsight, he'll do it later.
Oh, I see what you did there. I can see clearly now. This joke is dead.
Oh, we haven't even started beating this joke to death yet. But we'll see about that.
I'm really sorry that I started things out on a bad joke.
It's all your fault. It's all your fault.
You know what? I'm above this joke.
You're
That's
above this joke.
Oh, we
I'm
know that's
above
not
this
true.
joke.
What does
Willie's
that
not
mean?
above any joke.
I'm above this joke.
No, Willie's above poo jokes. Remember, he doesn't like poo and fart jokes. You've said that before. Oh, for those of you guys that are not watching the live video, Willie's face is so pained right now. Just
It's
so
good.
pained.
It's good.
Or his camera froze. I'm not sure what just happened here.
Just picture the bitter beer face guy from those old commercials, and that's what I'm
It's
doing.
pretty close. It's that with the chin beard.
It's a goatee.
Actually, no.
You have a goatee.
No, I don't either. It's a Van Dyke. You have a Van Dyke. I have a Van Dyke. Neither one of us has a
Whoa.
matching.
I'm not a woman.
Neither one of us has a matching full mustache.
You have to have the mustache grow into the
If
beard.
you just
for it to
have
be a goatee.
this, it's not a goatee. This is a Van Dyke.
Oh man, I got all this. It's still, there's a mustache there.
There's a difference between just not shaving and actually having a mustache. Like Chris has a mustache.
Listen, I look the best with a 5 o'clock shadow. All right, so
Yeah,
that's why I'm trying to keep this.
You and me are just lazy. Chris has a mustache.
No. I'm lazy also because I've been growing my beard out, not for any good reason, but just because I didn't want to trim it since like November. So we're going for the winter caveman beard approach right now. And
All right.
It's not as long as Willie's beard was when he had to cut it as part of a Super Bowl bet, though.
I'm taking offense to this.
Why are you
Because
taking offense?
Go ahead,
I'm
be
not being
offended.
lazy with this. I just look the best with like a little growth, not too big, not shaved. For some reason, it's just weird. So I like this little bit of growth with this. It's how I look best. At least that's how I perceive it. So I was going
To be
somewhere.
fair, Willie, I never
To be
called you
fair.
lazy. I said
No.
I was lazy.
I know, but Bachman called me
There's
lazy.
a difference. And the
Yep.
thing I have noticed is when I grow my beard out, it makes the gray that much more noticeable in it.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
You got a couple spots kind of shining there, Chris.
Not a couple spots. It's like right here. It's like Ra's al Ghul-esque.
Yeah, I got a gray spot here and a gray spot there. I had somebody come up to me like,
Well-
and they said, "Do you color that spot?" I was like, "No, I'm just old."
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's how mine started, though, Willie. Like literally, it was one little spot here was gray, and then it started going all like up. Like it actually like crawled.
Willie,
It's like almost all of this is gray now if I grow it out.
I think you're going to look quite distinguished when your beard turns gray like mine.
Who are you talking to?
I said Willie.
Bachman? I didn't hear
Yeah.
the Willie part, so I'm just gonna ignore it.
Yeah, no, I've already got plenty of the gray in the beard.
Yeah, I've got it too. It's okay. You'll be quite distinguished.
It's up top as well.
I mean, I've got the tricolor beard right now, so it's kind of fun.
Us old men look good.
What's the third color?
Oh, my facial hair also grows in red too. So I have red, brown, and gray.
You have a bit of the ginger in you.
A bit of the ginger.
Me too. I've got all four colors on my fucking face now. There's black, brown, red, and white.
I agree with Liberty Dude in the chat room. It's all about the beard, not the stubble. Beard.
This stubble on my face is what makes me so.
Hey, Willie, if the
the
ladies
stubble
like
makes
it,
the man.
hey, if the ladies like it, I have no problem with it. I'm just saying.
No. Fuck the ladies.
The
Fuck
ladies
the
like
ladies.
Scruffy.
I
The
like
ladies like Scruffy Willie.
And if you like it too, that's the important thing.
I don't even know if the ladies like it. All I know is I like it.
LLSW. The ladies like Scruffy
You gotta
Willie.
love yourself first before anyone else can.
There you go.
You could take that to the bank.
That's this week's episode title is Love Yourself First.
Twice on Tuesday.
It's not a masturbation joke. Don't turn it into that.
Too late.
No, I just knew where it was going to go, and I wanted to preempt that.
Chris, you know what you made it. Don't even deny.
I prevented it from becoming that by telling everyone not to do it.
And then by saying that you made it, you know what? I'm going to go get my drink. I'm just, go on.
And we lost Willie again.
Oh, Willie's gone. Willie's just walked away from the show. I see how it is. Willie. I admire your desire to get a drink, and he's already back. I was trying to ad-lib and
yeah, I just
stretch
left it
things
over
out.
there.
I forgot you had those wireless headphones on, so it's good
we
I
even
didn't
saw
start
that he has
talking shit
pants
about
on.
you.
Don't stop on my account. Keep on going.
I was curious what you were drinking, if we can get a product placement in there.
Oh, that's
Nope, because it's got a koozie on it.
Well, it's Mountain Dew with a Willie Nelson koozie on it, which my friends will not believe that it's not from my wedding, because on the back it says the Nelson Willie Wild Wedding. It's from my cousin's wedding, who is not named Willie. His name is Jacob. Why did he get these koozies? I don't know. But all my friends said, that's from your wedding, and they just would not believe me.
And Willie's like, I don't have anything left from my wedding. Why would I keep this?
I was like, look at the camo on it. You think my ex-wife would have had anything camo in that fucking wedding? And they still wouldn't believe me.
Well, to be fair, Willie, we don't really know your ex-wife, so I'm assuming that's a no. But
well, I mean, when I first started the show, I was married.
That is true, but I don't believe we ever met your then wife as part of the show.
Consider yourself lucky.
I mean, we might have heard her in the background at one point in time, but that's all I can really recall.
I don't know what I can say legally.
Oh no, I wasn't trying to get you in trouble or anything like that.
I don't know what the word slander means.
It means we should not talk about Willie Nelson's wife anymore. It means we should probably
Oh,
start
I have some choice words. Here, let me use my first one up here.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I'm just kidding. I'll see you next Tuesday.
Live from the ATGN studios on the internet, it's the news of the week.
Welcome to the news of the week. It's that part of the show where we run down what is in our minds some of the most interesting, geeky, and or nerdy news to have popped up here in the past couple of weeks of geekdom. Yes, Willie.
And with subtlety, too.
Our subtle.
Our news is subtle? I'm very confused. What's subtle?
Just go ahead, Chris.
The fact that you were going to see me next Tuesday, is that what was subtle?
Yep. Subtle like a freight train.
I see. That was subtle like a freight train.
A freight train?
Yes.
Choo-choo.
Choo.
I hate trains.
Why do you hate trains?
Really.
No, it doesn't matter. I'm afraid to ask this question.
I'm a little curious why you're afraid of it.
Because
like, what do you
Willie, and I don't mean this in a bad way, your stories have a way of starting out sounding like they're going to be on a very simple topic and then twisting into something where like, how the hell did he get involved in this kind of situation? And I don't know if you have a train story that then turns into me going, how the hell did this happen to Willie?
Well, I mean, don't you just hate getting caught at a train, like a train crossing when you're driving and you're like, and it's a very, very long train.
I don't actually have a lot of train crossings around me. There's like one in Reevesville, but I don't really go to Reevesville anymore. And there's one near one of the alternate work locations I have, but I've never actually hit one there because, I don't know.
And then there was that time when I was traveling from New York back down to Greensboro, and my train was so late getting to pick me up that my was it when you go to the connecting train in DC. I had already left the station by the time I got there. So yeah, my connecting train was gone. So I had to spend a night in DC. It was not fun. I just wanted to be home.
I don't doubt that. Did you have to stay at the train station, or did you find like a hotel off-site and crash for a little bit?
Oh no, they gave me a hotel room, but I mean, I just wanted to be home. That's all it was. Fucking trains.
I get that. But Willie, you know what you do love though? The Sony PlayStation. Why don't you tell us what you got about the Sony PlayStation this week, Willie?
I see what you did. I believe they just released some news. Sony did about the next generation of the PlayStation. Like Microsoft, they named it something really stupid. They're calling it. What's it called? The PlayStation 5. Why are they using such a stupid name? I'm kidding. Of course, it's the PlayStation 5 because that makes sense. Get it right, Microsoft. Pull your head out your ass. But they revealed the logo for the PlayStation 5, which is a P and an S and a 5. Very simple, very elegant.
In the Spider-Man 3 font.
I mean, you own it. Why not use it? I mean, it's not as bad as it was on the PlayStation 3. That thing was plastered on the console.
Right.
So, But not only did they do that, they also announced some features that the console's going to have. So they didn't release a whole lot of information. They also said it's going to be released this year. They didn't say a date, but it's going to be released this year. But it's going to have 3D audio support as well, with already announced the haptic adaptive triggers, which I am so curious what that fully entails. I want to know. I want to feel the hapticness.
It'll be curious to me on those haptic triggers how will third-party developers incorporate that. I'm sure their first-party games are going to have some awesome use of it, similar to what you've seen with like the HD Rumble and the Joy-Cons for Nintendo. Nintendo has figured out how to do stuff. The rest of people are just like, make it shake. We don't give a crap.
Yeah, but to be fair, that's just a Rumble in the Switch. I can't really tell an HD Rumble. Like what? Okay.
Plus, I want to know if the haptic feedback thing is going to be customizable. So, like they talked about how where the trigger will have a long pull on it when you're doing a bow in a game, which will be different from like firing off shots with a pistol. But can you go in and change the haptic when you're playing like Apex or Overwatch to where it's actually different on depending on how you want to play versus how the game plays?
So to adjust the trigger press.
Yeah, I wonder if that's going to be something in the game that's
sensitivity and options or something. That's what I'm guessing.
There'll probably be stuff like that, yeah. Or they might actually put something out like similar to the Pro Controller that Microsoft put out, where there's actually a switch on the back where you can adjust your trigger depth, which is kind of slick for playing shooters.
Yeah, see, that'd be kind of cool.
Oh, and how much is that controller, Chris?
I got mine for like $60. I don't know how much it actually runs.
Okay, that's what I was asking. How much is the default retail?
I think it's like $150, something like that. I'm not sure.
Woo! Yep, that's about right. Also coming to us, well, we already knew this. The the SSD drive. That'd be nice, right? All right. The super fast loading times. I believe there was that. What was it from last year or the year before? The video of them loading in Spider-Man. Yeah, it was from last year. Yeah, loading in Spider-Man. They showed a normal PlayStation 4 just loading in, then a PS5. It didn't even go to a loading screen. It was just pretty much there in like less than 8 seconds.
Nice.
And of course, the new technology that's going to be out there, ray tracing. Who doesn't like a little bit of ray tracing? And Chris, do you know what ray tracing is?
I like Ray.
Yeah, I know. Do you know what ray tracing is, Chris?
Not particularly.
Ray tracing is pretty much when light bounces off of other objects, how it goes how it bounces off. So, if it's going to be that much, a little bit more in depth, why not do it? So yeah, ray tracing, something cool. And then of course, something I was really hoping for. I'm not really surprised it's going to be in there, but it's also going to have a 4K Blu-ray drive in the system as well, so you can play your 4K Blu-rays. Why was it not in the Pro? I don't know, because Sony, you own the damn product. Blu-ray is owned by Sony. Yeah, anytime you buy a Xbox game, a physical disc, Sony's getting a little bit of money out of it.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about in the pre-show. Is why didn't they put a Blu-ray drive? Excuse me, a 4K Blu-ray drive in the PlayStation 4 Pro. I understand why you might not do it in the regular PS4s. That's fine, but come on, it's the Pro version. Give a little extra there. I mean, and this is not me taking a shot, be like, oh, Microsoft's better. They've had the 4K drive-in since they put out the 1S
series
iteration.
Yeah,
Of
whatever.
the
it
Xbox
is.
One. That was one of their differentiating points, and I would have figured that Sony would have seen that and gone, maybe this is a minor console evolution we can do that keeps us ahead. Granted, they did have a huge console sale lead already.
And this is me definitely taking a hit on Microsoft. Why do I have to download an app for an Xbox to play a movie?
Who cares? It's a
But
30 meg
why?
app that downloads in 10 seconds.
But why
Because
is
it's
it not
constantly
just
patched and updated.
it's still
There's
makes no
there's
sense.
two ways to look at it. One is, oh my god, they don't have it on there, so I can't play anything out of the box. The other way is, oh shit, our firmware is all jacked up. Well, it's really easy for us to issue an update since it's an app, and it just auto downloads in the background.
Well, not just have like some kind of one already downloaded to it by default,
But it's-
just so someone doesn't connect to the internet at all. they
Because
can
what
actually
if you never use it as a DVD player? You only play games on it that are local, non-internet games.
But what if someone who does not have internet access buys an Xbox for that and gaming, single player games? What are they supposed to
Willie,
do?
you're talking an extreme edge case at this point.
Oh,
in
I
time
know.
with
Oh,
me.
I know.
Yes. So
That is probably
it's
the
an
thing.
extreme edge case, and that would be a problem. But at the same time, it's minimal impact, or it could be. The whole reason why the original Xbox had a DVD controller dongle you had to buy.
Oh God, that was so stupid. Why? Tell
Why?
me.
I actually watched one of the video game historian videos or something like that on YouTube about it, because they didn't pay for the license out of the box for all Xboxes to be able to play DVDs. So effectively, when you bought that dongle, you were paying for the license from Dolby to process Dolby audio through DVDs and for DVD player access. So that was effectively all it was a license on a dongle that you plugged in that then went and connected with. So I don't know, maybe it's the same thing with the I doubt it's the same thing with the DVD drive for the Xbox One, but maybe.
I mean, I always thought that was pretty dumb, but that makes sense. But yeah, I remember my PS2 was my second DVD player. My first one was terrible. I actually got a DVD player for Christmas one year when I was a kid because I like movies. I'm a movie guy.
My DVD
But that
player
thing
was the
would
Xbox. I bought the
freeze.
dongle for like $15 when I found it on sale.
And that thing would just freeze on me all the time. Mid movie, just. I was like, oh,
Your
can we
PS2
restart
did?
the whole thing? No. My first.
Oh,
DVD
your DVD
player.
player. I was gonna say, yeah, I don't think I ever had a problem watching DVDs on my PS2.
Oh, I never did.
Liberty dudes in the chat room. WTF are you all talking about? People without internet? What apocalypse world do you haunt off with?
I mean,
It's true.
I'm
in all
lucky to have
fairness-
internet here.
In all fairness, I'm pretty sure in the backs of both boxes for PlayStations and Xboxes, it says internet connectivity needed for all features. So,
Oh yeah, that's back from when the Xbox One was first released.
yeah, I'm pretty sure they've always had that on there just as a thing to say, oh, well, I bought this and took it home and plugged in and it doesn't work. It's like, well, are you connected to the internet? No. Well, there's your problem. And that just cancels any other complaints, because if they have that warning on the box that says it needs to be connected to the internet to update, that's on you.
What, you mean there's going to be a Karen out there that gets mad because they haven't connected to the internet and their kid can't play GTA online? Go figure.
Yep.
Hold on a second. Now
It
we're
could
also
happen. It
we're
could
also
happen.
thinking just America.
Yes.
Let's just go up to our neighbors up north. There are some places that you can't have internet up there because they're just remote areas. Why can't they be gamers too?
So they can be.
I don't
didn't say
like
they
it.
couldn't.
Let's go to other places in the world. I mean, there are places where internet's just not a
You
possibility.
are correct. We've talked about it before on this show.
And I'm pretty sure I've been on matches in Dead by Daylight where some of those people are playing the other survivors because it seems like they have no internet.
Oh no, it's because they're using their phone as a hotspot to play online.
It's quite
It could be
possible.
that too, yeah.
Oh, I do. I know people who actually did. I'm like, why, man? Why? Why are you doing this?
That's why a lot of people are interested in 5G internet when it comes out, because they won't necessarily have to have home service. They could hotspot their phone, or they could buy a mobile hotspot and connect everything in.
Yeah.
Hearing about it, but where is it? Come on, do something.
5G is not coming soon, and there's problems because 5G operates in the same spectrum as a lot of our weather scanning capabilities. And so we're going to lose the ability to predict weather accurately, specifically tornadoes and hurricanes and things like that, for faster wireless internet. It's going to be great.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I don't live in Tornado Alley.
Me either, but I mean, I wish I did. I want to see a tornado. I want to go outside and say, "Hey, look, a tornado's right there." That's
don't.
cool.
Why would you ever want to see that?
No,
It'd be something cool to see.
I used to live in Oklahoma, and when you'd be out playing with your friends, you could look off in the distance and just see a funnel cloud form and be like, "Well."
Sorry.
Tornadoes can form out of nothing, and they're scary as hell. I don't want to mess with tornadoes anymore.
I want to live the movie Twister.
You want to find a cow and have it fly around in a tornado?
Or a second cow, or it could still be the same one. I'm not sure.
No, he just wants to tie Helen Hunt to a pipe with a belt.
That's oddly specific, and I think that's more you projecting onto me.
Movie. It's the end scene of the movie.
I know. I think you're projecting onto me. That's what I think is going on here.
You said you wanted to live Twister, not me.
You know what? Hold on a second. I'm thinking about it. I mean, she's all right, but she's not crush worthy.
You guys heard it here. Willie's not crushing on Helen Hunt. I'm sorry, Paul Reiser.
Not saying she looks bad. I'm just saying it's whatever. It's whatever.
You do you.
Indeed.
I always do me.
So PS5, we're assuming, is probably around holiday this year, same as the Xbox. So the console wars continue.
Oh, yeah. It'll be late November or December. It'll be a question of who comes out what week, but we know they'll be available for Christmas. They're always presents. Like, that's been constant since fucking the PS1 and the Xbox fucking VCR brick, the OG.
Now you get just a PC tower with the Xbox.
I thought it was a college mini fridge. Well, isn't that what the new Xbox is?
Not quite
Fair
that
enough.
big, but it's going to be interesting, though, because Microsoft's catching some flack for this, but it doesn't really bother me that much, where they were talking about the new Xbox coming out. That's the Series X. And they said, no, there's not really console exclusives. The next run of games are going to play on any Xbox. You'll get different advantages on the Xbox One Series X or whatever, but like Halo Infinite, when it comes out, if you own an Xbox One, you can play it. If you own the Series X, you can play it. Pretty much any non-retired Xbox, they're going to have playable games for. So they're catching a little bit of flack there, but at the same time, it's kind of how you build people up to eventually upgrading.
The flack I think they'd be getting right now would be because of the vertical size of the Series X.
Oh, people don't care about that, really.
Well, no, because almost everybody now has a flat monitor stand that your TV sits on. The only thing that can sit on top of it is the TV. And then the shelves that you have underneath it aren't that tall. So you're going to have to like have your Xbox behind your screen on your
it's like two
stand.
Xboxes stacked onto each other.
But I think that's going to, I mean, from the height of it on the pictures, like it looks like it's going to be taller than those shelves. So I'm wondering if people are going to complain when it comes out because it doesn't fit on any of the shelves of any of their monitor stands.
I think the people that are early adopters aren't going to give two shits about that, to be honest, because they're like, I have the new Xbox.
Either.
Probably not, but it's one of those things where I look at that and that's like the first thing I think was like, are people going to complain that it doesn't fit on the shelves they already have? Because people will complain about anything. We know that. Mm-hmm. I just wonder if it's going to be a big complaint or if it's just something that gets washed out in the background. Just because it's basically the first really vertical system since like the GameCube was the last one that like was more vertical than it was wide.
Oh, it was a cube.
Square.
Yeah, but I mean, with the game sticking out of the top of it, it was taller.
The GameCube was disc.
Yeah,
disc-based. Was that the disc one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the first disc-based one.
But it was a tall system. It was a tall system compared to the original Super Nintendo.
I mean, it was a complete cube. It was equally all around, and it had a handle.
It did. Looked like a little lunchbox.
That's right. Yeah, you could carry it.
The old purple lunchbox.
Old purple lunchbox.
I had a black one.
I wish I had a GameCube. I never got that one.
I bought mine while I was interning at one point in time. There was a little used video game store at the mall right next to the place I was working. And I took a lunch break there and bought my used GameCube for like $40 and bought Tales of Symphonia and a couple different Zelda games. And that's how I learned that I loved the Tales of Symphonia game. One of my favorites to this day. You didn't like it? I'm sorry.
That wasn't my type of game.
It
just was. I'm not saying it was bad. Not saying it was bad at all.
I get it.
I just didn't enjoy it.
No, I get it. Makes sense to me.
I mean, because I think, actually, yep, it's right there. Tales of Symphonia. I got it right there on my shelf. I would go and reach it, but it's a little far out of my reach. And then I don't feel like getting up, so y'all can just deal with it.
And
I got Pikmin, Soul Calibur 2, Metroid Prime.
So Is Tales of Symphonia, is that a Zelda game?
No.
No.
It's part
just
of the
a
Tales
RPG.
of series. It's not. It's
And
a
a
JRPG.
Fire Emblem game?
Okay. I hadn't heard of that one.
And it
Radiance?
actually had a sequel on the Switch. They did a Tales of Symphonia 2 on the Switch, which was
Well-
the first time they've really done a Tales direct sequel.
Well, I'll say Tales series is like a wide known
right. But this was a
RPG.
direct sequel and didn't move to a new world. It was still
like Final Fantasy X-2.
maybe, I don't know. I was saying from a Tales perspective, it was kind of interesting because they normally don't do that kind of thing.
It was a joke because that was the first Final Fantasy direct sequel. And why they always make those names weird?
Wasn't it just Side Quest the game?
Well, it was.
It's 10-2.
I don't know. I never played it.
Okay. I've got it. I
just
haven't
know-
played it yet.
I played the hell out of 10. I got every ultimate weapon. Oh, God, those lightning dodges you had to do to get for the one weapon was ridiculous.
Let's
In
move
the butterfly mini game. Oh, I hated that.
It's
It had to
not
be
as
so
good as the-
fast.
I like
on
the
a
card
fixed
mini game
camera.
in Final Fantasy VIII.
Why?
Everyone likes that. They even brought it back
No.
in one of the Final Fantasies.
Final Fantasy 9. It kind of is similar, but it's not exact. So, but it was very similar.
Just
Yeah,
saying,
no one liked that.
Just saying, I like
No
it, Willie. I
No one
like
likes Final Fantasy 8, and if you do, you're lying to yourself.
I love Final
I
Fantasy
like
8.
Final Fantasy VIII. I like it more than
Why?
7.
The magic system is so bad.
Yeah, the magic system was bad. The game card system was bad. The whole playthrough storyline wasn't great, but it was all about the gunblade. I don't care about
What do you
it. The
mean?
gunblade was awesome.
Yeah, you press the button, he used the damn gunblade. What did he do? It's not like it's
You
anything
stab
fancy.
someone with a sword and you shoot them at the same time. I loved it.
That didn't even make logical sense because you never see him reload it.
Oh yeah, because you really want to make those Final Fantasy games make logical sense.
Yes.
The fucking jackasses are playing underwater soccer. Like those games are dumb as fuck.
Blitzball was
It's
great.
stupid as
Don't
shit.
you take that back. Waka is a prime champion.
I'd rather play the card game from fucking 8 forever than play one more match of fucking Blitzball.
Do you know how many hours I put into Blitzball, and I enjoyed every last second?
You know how many minutes I wasted playing Blitzball and then decided to never play the game again?
None.
Too
Because
many.
Blitzball, you never wasted time because it's
Yeah.
always fun.
Every minute I spent playing Blitzball was a fucking waste of time I will never get back.
You're
Fuck that
wasting
game.
time.
I hated that Final Fantasy. It was worse than raising chickens.
Chocobos,
Raising
excuse
chickens.
me.
Fucking chicken rancing.
Did you have-
Once a game
Oh, I
turns
guess
into
Final
chicken
Fantasy
rancing,
7.
I quit.
Yeah. I never got into getting the gold chocobo. I never did all that in Final Fantasy 7. Didn't care enough.
Once
I hate
got
all
to
these
the ranch. And like, you should raise
RNGs.
chickens and then win a race, and then you can go forward. I was like, no, I'm not a fucking farmer. I'm done. I'm done
All
with this
these
fucking game.
Random number generator. I just don't like it. I hate that part of it. Just let me know what I need to do. Let me go do it, and let that be it. Don't let there be like, maybe you'll get this item if you defeat this creature. You have a chance to steal it. Who knows? There's a 0.08% chance you're going to steal it. Fuck you.
Yeah, it's just designed to make you grind forever. It's the secret of Final Fantasy games is
Yep.
constant grinding.
Well, Final
Yeah.
Fantasy 10 was not quite like that.
I'd
That's
rather
what-
play Titanfall 2.
That's what's been kind of interesting about the re-releases is they've made it so you don't necessarily have to grind as much because you can do like 3x speed. You can do it so you have permanent limit breaks if you're stuck on something just by like double clicking your thumbsticks or clicking the right one or the left one. It all does different things.
All the re-releases of all
Yeah.
of them do that.
It's
They've
kinda
got
nice.
they've all got
8,
like
9, 10.
enhancement upgrades to where you can make the grind easier.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you make yourself invincible, so just to go through it, and it doesn't affect trophies either, which I was very happy with.
No, there's no trophies on the Nintendo Switch, so I haven't noticed.
I did thought about that though. They just destroyed one of the trophies for Dead by Daylight. You can't get it anymore.
Which one is that one?
The one for the nurse, you had to triple blink and hit somebody. There's no such thing as a triple blink anymore since her update.
Now, I
can
always
only
heard
blink
that
twice.
that you cannot change the trophy descriptions, but I think they did, especially like I think on First Note and Overwatch when they changed how like Hanzo worked. They changed his whole like first one of his abilities. I think they changed the trophy for that too, and I didn't think that was possible, but I haven't heard anyone talk about it. But
I'll have
They
to
did
check it.
change
Yeah,
it.
on the last patch, they did a huge update on the nurse to where she can't. It used to be you could change her from 1 blink to 2 blinks, 3 blinks, 4. And I think 5 was the max if you had the 2 red add-ons. You could do 5 blinks. But yeah, one of the trophies for her was hitting 3 blinks and perfectly grabbing somebody. So you basically had to cover like half the map in 3 teleports and grab a survivor in 1 move, and that gave you an achievement. I don't think that achievement's possible anymore unless they change that achievement on PlayStation.
Once, twice, 3 times a blinking nurse. You're welcome.
Look what you did.
I apologize.
Look
I'm
what
sorry.
You made Willie sing.
My bad.
Fair use because of parody.
Fair use because of fucking fair use. God damn it.
Yeah, apparently YouTube doesn't know what that means.
Apparently not, because if I remember correctly, I saw yesterday Puppers had one of his videos taken down because he referenced a Puppers video in one of his videos.
Scott Johnson had his channel taken down too because he used his own content, so they got flagged in videos from 5 years ago, and YouTube called it his third strike and shut down all of his channels.
Jesus Christ.
And I hope they reversed it.
Not yet.
Now, apparently their automated foot stomping system on YouTube is really starting to piss people off.
Well,
it's getting worse and
it's
worse.
Like,
Still
Google,
this-
what are you doing? Google, come on.
The same problem with YouTube continues to be that it's not designed to help the creators, it's designed to help the people that own the rights, that own the monetary rights to things, so they
Or that claim they own the
Yes.
rights to things, whether they do or not.
So that's what I was getting to. They can then put a BS claim on something, and you're like, what are you talking about? We've gotten hit on the Gonna Geek channel before because we've used music from Kevin McLeod over in Incompetech, which is all fair use, cited properly, and someone tries to claim they own 3 seconds of it in a 2-hour-long video, and then you get a copyright strike, and then you have to appeal it, and all you're allowed to do is write like 500 characters. That's all you can appeal with. And then you just kind of sit and wait. And unless you're one of the big players in the YouTube sphere, whatever they say is whatever the result is. And we've been lucky enough that they've overturned the strike or whatnot. But some of these folks, you're not considered big enough, and they don't care.
Yeah, it's a shitty system.
And we're still in that same problem of, okay, you want a live stream, there's plenty of opportunities and places you can go out there for it. But if you want to be able to store your video indefinitely so people can view it, YouTube's the number 1 choice. What's number 2? Twitch, you run out if you're not a partner. Vimeo, I guess you can. But Twitch, like, we're not partner status, so I think our videos only stay on Twitch for 2 weeks. Same with Mixer.
Yeah. Yeah, YouTube is basically a monopoly right now. So they can make all the rules and decide what goes and what doesn't, and there's nothing you can do to fucking deal with it. Which really sucks.
Well, the bigger problem is all these big businesses have finally realized that you can actually make money off of YouTube and it's useful. So now they are overzealous in defending what they deem as copyright. And fair use is fuzzy on some things too. So trying to make the argument, it's not even worth it. Sometimes
I'll make an argument right now. It was fair use what I was just saying because parody. If Weird Al can do it, so can I.
Fair enough.
I don't know. He's talented.
See what you did there.
I have a quarter of that talent, so I'll take it.
Too high. You got like the 1/8 of that talent.
I was
On a
about
good
to
day.
sing "She's So High," but I couldn't make it a parody, so you're welcome.
Mankind thanks you for your discretion.
The wrestler?
I just meant
Yeah.
like all of humanity. Not having
Oh,
my
Sister Sako.
Sako
Mr.
said thank you.
Sako.
Oh, memories. Oh, the Raw's War era.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, when you had Small Rock.
There's some good memes.
Now we got
that-
Swole Rock.
Did you guys see the meme with The Rock and Ray from Star Wars in it? It was delightful.
Uh-huh.
Nope.
What's
go
your
on.
name, Ray? It doesn't
Doesn't
matter what your name is.
I mean, I appreciated it.
Yeah, I saw it on your Twitter. That was a good one.
We'll get to that in a little bit. Before we talk Star Wars, let's continue with the news. Go with my
That's a good
story
dude.
next. I know that Willie was probably really excited. They did a Pokemon Direct this week. Willie, were you on the edge of your seat just watching the Pokemon Direct, the entire thing?
I watched a little bit of it after the fact. It's like, oh, that's what they're doing? Nah, don't care.
That's fair. So what came out of the Pokemon Direct? Kind of what everyone expected. They're putting out an expansion pass to Pokemon Sword and Shield. For $30, you get 2 expansions, which is the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra. Isle of Armor drops in June, and then sometime in fall is the Crown Tundra. You will be able to carry over your save game. You will be able to carry over all of your Pokemon. It's not like in the previous games where you would buy like Pokemon Moon, and then you could buy Pokemon Ultra Moon to get all the stuff that is slightly different and have to start from scratch. So
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
I kind of like the fact they've evolved the game like that. So people are complaining, I got to pay $30 for more Pokemon. Well, you probably
It's
would
not
have
60.
$60 for the same game. And they are also adding in another 200 Pokemon that you can catch to add as part of your Pokédex. A lot of them are legacy Pokemon, but there are new legendaries, they were saying.
And new region variants.
Yep, new Gigantamax forms are going to exist, like the 3 Pokemon Sword and Shield starters will all have Gigantamax forms now. And I guess the Sobel Gigantamax form is him with a sniper rifle, which I'm sure is going to be very interesting to some people.
Yeah, it seems a bit weird in the Pokemon world.
There will also be free updates released alongside the expansions so that if you don't buy the expansion, you can still trade with someone who does have it, and you can fill your Pokédex that way. So you don't have to buy the expansions to be able to get them. And they did actually put an update out for Pokemon Sword and Shield the same day as this was announced. It put a little bug in your save screen or in your menu that told you it's coming. And you can also catch a Galarian Slowpoke now with part of this update. It does not go into your Pokédex yet, though, but you can catch it. And you will also meet your rival from the new DLC at the train station before you do this. So they are teasing it, still like 6 months away from the expansion pack coming out, but it's coming. Willie, you look like you're deep in thought.
Was it all those kids with the water pump kicks? Run, outrun my squirt gun.
So you're saying
That's
it's
all
a
I got.
$30 expansion, but it's actually better than how they previously done it? Because yeah, to me, just hearing it, not having played these, it sounds insane that the expansion is $30.
It's not unheard of for other games that are out there. Like if you bought all of the Witcher
Depending.
3's DLC before they started bundling it, you would have paid more than $30, for instance.
Yeah, but I'm sure you get a lot more out of that than this.
Yes, but just for example purposes, like, and especially like the Mass Effect games and stuff too, is each DLC pack was like $15. There wasn't like a season pass back in the day for that. Effectively, what you're buying for Pokemon is a season pass for DLC, and there's 2 DLC packs coming out.
I guess just like the name on it makes a difference in my head. Because I think the only game I've really bought like a season pass for is the Spider-Man one, and that was 3 DLC packs. But I guess if they hadn't bundled those and they were each $10 each, I still would have bought them all, and I would have bought them for $30. So, and I wouldn't have even thought about it. Having not done the Pokemon games, it sounded a little crazy. Like adding in some Pokemon which already exist is like $30. That sounds a little outrageous, but it makes sense. Yeah, if it's just like a season pass for the game, basically that you're already
I did
playing.
a bad job of describing. You're also getting, with each expansion pass, a brand new area to go and explore, brand new story missions, new characters, and new wild areas that are supposedly double the size of the wild areas that you got in Sword and Shield as it
So you're
is.
getting an actual game expansion as well as an expansion to the Pokédex,
Correct.
what you can catch, storyline stuff,
It is
all
a
of that.
full-blown
Okay.
expansion.
Okay,
How did
that
they
makes
put
more
it here?
sense.
They continue the story. Isle of Armor appears to be an island-esque area with a dojo where players will train alongside a mentor called Mustard. The Crown Tundra is a wintered world with a new co-op experience. They said the 2 new areas will be larger than the game's wild area that we've seen now.
So
Nice.
is Mustard is he like a fugitive from the law after he was at Mr. Nobody's house and then somebody murdered Mr. Nobody and then they couldn't find the clue to who it was? Colonel Mustard! Aha!
I just thought he was a grown-up seed.
Mine was better.
Yours just took too long.
Hey, I'm sorry, yours is short and sweet. Mine's long and subtle.
Oh dear.
People like different things.
Length of time, not size.
So they did announce the Pokemon Sword and Shield expansions. They also announced the Pokemon Home cloud storage system, which again, more of Nintendo doesn't really quite get what people want when it comes to cloud storage for Pokemon. I have complained on this show before. If you play Pokemon Sword and Shield or Pokemon Let's Go Eevee or Pikachu, and you have Nintendo Switch Online, these games do not back up to the cloud. If your console breaks and you can't get your save game off of it, it's gone. You lose, in my case, almost 100 hours worth of playing Pokemon Sword. It's
Which
annoying.
is or shit. The fact that all those games don't instantly back up to their cloud system when the Switch has so little save data room is insane.
So the thing that's really weird is it's only certain games where Nintendo doesn't enable it, and they don't enable it for the Pokemon games because they're afraid of people finding some way with that to hack it to unlock additional content.
Yeah,
That's
where
how
you would
they're spinning it.
upload a save, make a change on the game, and download the save, and all of a sudden you get 10 more Pokemon.
Right. So that's how they're spinning it. But at the same time, it's kind of BS because in today's world, where if I play a game on my Xbox or my PC or my PlayStation, I play it as soon as I'm done playing or I shut down the machine, it backs up to the cloud. Like, it was really easy when I bought a new Xbox to get my save games back because all I did is start the game, start playing, it goes, oh, we're syncing your progress from the cloud. And 10 seconds later, my save game was back on my Xbox again. Same thing with PlayStation. They do a similar thing. It shouldn't be a problem. And Nintendo can do it with some games. That's what's frustrating. They just choose not to on the Pokemon games right now. Like they're doing it with Zelda.
Nintendo's just tone deaf when it comes to anything dealing with the internet.
Yes. So they
Yeah,
have,
and
it
it's
does
getting
seem to
tiring.
be.
It's
Like
getting
it's been that
old,
way for a while.
Getting tiring. It's always been like that. I mean, they were actually in the forefront with the GameCube. Let's go back to that. Phantasy Star Online 2. They had it. They were there. They were like, yeah, Dreamcast, you did it? We can do it better, bitch. Let's do this.
yeah.
But-
Yeah, it makes you wonder if something happened on the like company side that made them like weary of anything internet, and they just pulled back from it from that point on. They're like, no, we're not messing with online shit.
It takes a
Tone
lot
deaf,
of
I told
money.
you.
It takes a lot of money to maintain and develop a system like that. And if you don't have to do it, it's a lot
Yeah.
cheaper. But to
They
sort
have
of
a lot of money. They
Oh, I know.
can do it.
to sort of ease some of those Pokemon concerns, but I don't think a ton. They did give more details on their Pokemon Home cloud-based Pokemon storage system. Have you heard anything about this one, Willie?
Yeah, I've heard something about it. It's not enough to interest me.
So,
I don't care.
It's
What
similar
is this?
to
A Poke server you keep at your house?
kind of. It's similar to. Did you play any of the Pokemon games on the DS where there was the Pokemon Bank that you could buy?
Well, I only played the Ultra Sun I played. But I never did the Pokemon Bank. Never
Right.
did that because I never had any other previous games.
So Pokemon Home is going to let players store and transfer their Pokemon between games. The article on Polygon says when the app is out, players will be able to access Pokemon Home through their mobile devices, which is an upgrade from the Pokemon Bank system that let players store Pokemon on their consoles. It was first announced back in May 2019, and based on a diagram shown at the press conference, Pokemon can be transferred to Pokemon Home from Pokemon Go, Pokemon Bank, which is the 3DS storage system, the Let's Go games, and Pokemon Sword and Shield. Here is the catch. Pokemon can only be transferred into one game, Pokemon Sword or Shield. So if you take a Pokemon out of Pokemon Go or Let's Go, you can either leave it in the bank or put it in Sword and Shield. That is the only way to transfer them. And it's supposedly, this is controversial with a lot of the fan base. I was kind of unaware of it until I just read this. Pokemon can be transferred from Pokemon Home, Sword and Shield, like I said, but it will only be Galar region Pokemon that you can transfer into the game. So if you have like some awesome Mewtwo or something you've been carrying around since Gen 1 via the Pokemon Bank and things like that, you will not be able to transfer that into Pokemon Sword
That's
and
kind of
Shield.
shitty.
And an additional
Tone deaf.
caveat, we don't know how much it costs, but Pokemon Bank is not free. There was a rumor it would
Oh
be
no,
like a
no,
$5
Pokemon
a
Bank.
year-
We know.
Excuse me.
We know how much it costs. Yeah.
Excuse me. The Pokemon Home service. Let me rephrase. I said the wrong thing.
I
Will
know,
have
I'm
a
just
cost
messing with-
associated with it. There was a rumor floating around it'd be $5 a year for this service.
Okay. You're not talking about like a transfer per Pokemon fee though.
No, it's like a flat yearly
It's
service.
not a
to be
stock
able to use it.
exchange.
That's where Nintendo makes their money to put up some servers, as they charge you 10 cents for every Pokemon you transfer, and they let you transfer fucking everything from every game ever. They just charge you a dime for every one you do.
It's still stupid though. Come on, just let them like, why are they making it so complicated? Why has this always been a complication for Pokemon games to transfer between games? It's been such a pain. I don't know which one it is. I just remember seeing a video of how you had to, I think it was on
I've never
Platinum
understood why they're
or Black and White, where you could transfer your Pokemon, but then you had to play a mini game and re-catch them in the new game. It was like, Why? No, I can't just move them there, and
Wasn't
they're
that in
there.
Let's Go?
Mm.
Wasn't that how they
No,
did it in
no.
Let's Go or something like that?
I don't know. I never played that one. I know it was one of the DS ones.
Okay.
I do know that.
I've never understood why there hasn't been like an online server somewhere where anybody that's ever played any Pokemon game ever can log in with their Nintendo account, upload all the Pokemon from every game they've ever played, and keep them all in like one Pokédex.
How are you
Like
going
an
to upload them
actual
from like
online Pokédex.
How are you going to upload it from an OG Game Boy game though? That's the problem.
That I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, like the idea that like there should be a
Well-
service like that where then whenever a new game comes out, you literally just go in and put in your account and you download all the shit you've already got.
When you get to the world
Well-
of the DS, when it's internet connected, theoretically, I would think something like that would be more possible. But
Yeah.
I think part of why they don't want you to do that is part of how the people play Pokemon for extended time is to refill their Pokédex. Like my wife spent 100 hours and used both of our consoles to fill up her Pokédex, for instance.
Damn.
Because
I needed-
there's consoles, there's game exclusive Pokemon to catch.
Yep.
So she couldn't
Yeah.
catch them on hers. So I had caught them, and she was trading them back and forth just for the Pokédex entry between our profiles.
And I'm over here unlocking badges in Apex, so I mean I can't complain. We all have the little like check mark things that you do on video
Right.
games that we're addicted to.
Well, and if you get a full Pokédex in Sword or Shield, it gives you an item that helps make it easier to find shiny Pokemon, I guess.
Yeah, what did he do?
Okay. So you actually get something if you actually
Yeah.
get
And
if you cap one of everything.
and it gets denoted on the back of your league card that you make while you're playing the game too, that you have a full Pokédex.
Well, now hold on a second. Now, instead of like for shinies, instead of it being like 1 in whatever 2,000 something chances of getting a shiny, is now 1 in 1,000 something of getting
Yes.
a shiny.
It's not a huge difference, but every little bit helps. That
I'll
being
say,
said,
that's half. Like that's a pretty big improvement.
You go catch over 1,000 Pokemon
my
of the
wife,
same.
my wife
For
was trying to get a
Pokemon Go,
shiny.
I remember catching a lot. So
Yeah, it's a lot easier to find shinies in Go. My wife was trying to catch a shiny Wooloo, and at one point she had caught or battled 1,500 Wooloos and had not seen a shiny. She was
Oh, I
keeping
know.
a
holy
tally.
balls.
They're from Charlotte. The Woo
Yeah.
Loos. Yeah, Ric Flair. It's from my state,
Me,
Charlotte.
As a Ric Flair Pokemon? I didn't know there was a Ric Flair Pokemon.
Woo!
I just cheated and did all the Dynamax raids when there was shiny stuff there, so I caught like 2 shiny Magikarps in an afternoon. I was like, well, that's enough for me. I'm taking a
Yeah,
break.
and
Nice.
don't
Nice.
you feel great? Now you have a red Gyarados.
Yeah, me
Aren't
and
you
everyone
so happy?
else.
Yeah, just like Ed. You know what? Everyone else had that too. And what was it? Gold and silver.
Yeah.
Because there's a 100% chance to catch a shiny Gyarados in that. I remember that.
Mhm.
I never played it. I just remember that was a thing.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how Pokemon Sword and Shield continues to evolve. I would not be shocked if this is now the new business plan, which is a game comes out, doesn't have the full Pokédex, people get cranky, and they go, well, the plan was to add more in DLC. So here you go.
Mm.
It's equivalent to what we see with other games nowadays.
They're still tone deaf.
I don't I don't dispute that either, but it's
It's
Pokemon.
good.
They're never going to be quite on the modern side of things. Let's put it that way. Does that make sense?
No, because
Yeah.
they
They're
decide
always
that
gonna
shouldn't be a
behind the
thing.
curve.
That's all I got, though. Let's toss things over to Bachman. What do you got for us, sir?
I got new comics are coming. It's, long rumored, but of course, we always knew it was eventually going to happen because no matter what, everything changes in comics and everything stays the same. So he is the best he is at what he does, and what he does isn't very nice. And the best is back. Next month, we're getting a relaunch of the new series Wolverine #1, starting in 2020, starring James Howlett, the original Logan. Will be back as Wolverine in a new Wolverine comic. And, not a huge shock. Everybody knew it was eventually going to happen after they canceled the Wolverine series starring X-23, which was actually a really good book. I ended up loving that book. But yeah, Wolverine is coming back. Benjamin Percy is going to be the writer who just worked on X-Force and Wolverine: The Long Night. The thing that is shocking, though, that's awesome, that's making me add this to my pull list, is the legendary artist that they're pulling back out to put it back on Wolverine, and that is Adam Kubert. One of the
Nice.
sons of the original fucking OG artist, Joe Kubert, and who did, I think, like 100 some odd issues of the second series of Wolverine. Adam Kubert was on Wolverine for quite a while. And like he's one of those quintessential superhero comic book artists. And yeah, it's a Kubert back on a Wolverine book. Like that alone's worth it. Of course, Marvel wants all your dollars, so it's apparently going to be an oversized issue. So the first issue next month is going to be $7.99, and then hopefully after that it'll be normal price. But yeah, we are getting Wolverine back. The OG Wolverine is returning, and yeah, they're going to have Adam Kubert drawing it. So I'm super excited for that. But the one that got me stoked, the one that got me fucking super happy when I saw it, I thought it was possibly a joke online this week, was when it was announced that Marvel is bringing back for the 6th time, Volume 6, I'm getting my goddamn New Warriors back. The New Warriors are returning. Since basically they were destroyed after the Civil War, there hasn't been much happening with the New Warriors in the last 5 years. There was a Sci-Fi Wire article talking about the core team of young superheroes: Night Thrasher, Firestar, Silhouette, Rage, Speedball, Namorita. That's not the core team. This article's wrong. Spent years fighting crime in the 90s. The core team of the New Warriors that started is Night Thrasher, Marvel Boy, before he was called Justice, Namorita, Nova, Speedball, the character Steve Ditko created right after he created Spider-Man with Stan Lee, and Firestar from Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. Those are the core warriors.
I do have a question.
Silhouette and Rage were added later, who are also awesome, but they were not core members. What's up, Willie?
Speedball, wasn't that a Penance in the Civil War?
Speedball's the one who became Penance.
Okay. Is he not Penance anymore?
No, he's back to being Speedball. He
got tired of all those little things poking him.
Yeah, he kind of got over his cutting issue and his using pain to recreate his powers issue. And if I remember now, because they brought him into Avengers Academy for a while as a teacher, which was kind of weird, where they had put him back in the blue suit, but then he also was like, he would be like in his room, like still cutting himself, like he's still going through some shit. For those that don't know, in the comics, the Civil War between Cap and Iron Man started because the New Warriors team had turned into a reality TV show where they went and hunted down escaped supervillains. And they had gone to Stamford, Connecticut to find this team. There were 4 supervillains hiding out in this abandoned house. They found them, caught them, were fighting them on camera. And Nitro, not any of the fucking New Warriors, Nitro decided to blow himself up. And when he did, he destroyed most of the town of Stamford, Connecticut, including the elementary school that was across the street from the hideout they were in. So like 230 kids died. During that explosion, like I think it was like Microbe, Debris, Night Thrasher, and maybe 1 or 2 others, and the other villains all died. Speedball, because of his kinetic field, landed in like upstate Maine or something. Like the blast blew him like 4 states away. And when he landed, his powers were all messed up and he had like shards of metal in his spine. And then, he ended up finding out later while he was in jail, because they jailed him, acted like the incident was his fault. And then they put him in jail. And while he was in jail, like he got hit. And when he got hit, like an energy burst came out of him and he realized his powers had changed to where basically pain caused him to create energy blasts now instead of his old bubble shield. So yeah, it was a very, very different version of the character. And then he put on the Penance suit, which had a spike inside of it for each one of the children that died in the explosion. And he literally wore an Iron Maiden suit that kept him in constant pain to where he could do energy blasts all the time. But he was basically as literal as can be, paying penance for the people that died because of what he thought was their mistake doing that stupid New Warriors show.
So you could say,
oh no, here it comes.
After the accident, he was his powers were a little impotent, right? So he had to get into BDSM to get it back up, right? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm not saying that at all.
That's what they were thinking. Look at how Wonder Woman got started and originally. These people are weird. We're weird. That's why we like it.
You know it.
Am I wrong though?
All right.
Here's
what's going to happen. There's going to be something. The new event coming this summer is called Outlawed, where there's going to be a new law in the Marvel Universe that we're being told is going to be called Kamala's Law. So I'm assuming it's going to be something that happens with Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. So something big's going to happen, which is going to cause the new rule where there's going to be a law in the Marvel 616 where no one under 21 can be a superhero. So they're basically trying to outlaw teen superheroes. So, of course, this is the perfect situation.
You can't smoke now.
Yep,
and now you can't be a goddamn superhero.
Now you can't be a vigilante.
What is this country going to?
Yep. So what's going to happen is Night Thrasher is going to bring back the old school Warriors, and they are going to put together their team as basically the teachers that are going to help kids be superheroes whether they want to or not, because they're already breaking the law, so they're going to try to make them help them do it better. And so you get a team of, excuse me, Namorita, Speedball, Night Thrasher, Firestar, and Rage are all on the cover. Apparently, Silhouette's also going to be on the team. The writer said when they saw the new artist's take on Silhouette, like they had to have her on the team because it's a great design. And also, one of those ones that people don't notice. Silhouette was a member of the team in the 90s. She's an African-American chick who has a physical disability and actually has to walk around on crutches. She was one of the first, like, basically handicapped superheroes in the Marvel Universe since Daredevil. And, like, nobody even noticed back in the day in the 90s. It was so crazy because, yeah, everybody talks about, like, wanting inclusion, wanting all, you know, male, female, different races and stuff. The New Warriors had a black leader. They had, you know, well, an Atlantean. I guess that doesn't really count. But, like, they had mutants. They had people with tech. They had people with, you know, science experiments powers. They had, you know, a full cast of African-American characters. They had the Turbo chick who was Asian. Like, the New Warriors comic has been one of the most inclusive comics of all time, and it never gets any credit for it. It should have been treated the way the Teen Titans are treated at DC. That's the way the New Warriors should have been treated since the 90s in Marvel, and they get almost no respect. Like, they literally used the team, they blew them up for Civil War, and then they started off the Phoenix Force thing, started with Nova being blasted out of space and landing on Earth like in a crushed ball, and they started that event by basically what it looked like at the time killing off another New Warrior. It was like Marvel editorial became, hey, you want to start a story? We could do every new event by killing off a New Warrior. Like, just have at it. Nobody cares.
I'm a fan of that. Let's do that. I like it.
Yeah, well, fuck you, because this is the team that got me into comics, so I love them. But yeah, so we're getting them
let's
back.
Kill what you love.
Yeah, well,
Thanks, Kyle.
I'm not writing it. Yeah,
Let
I'm
the
not
past
writing
die.
it. No,
I mean,
the past is getting to volume 6, you bastards, and I'm
No.
Night
Let the
Thrasher
past die
Speedball.
and let the future die.
Let the past die. Kill it. Kill it all.
Yeah,
I'm all
but
right with it. Let's do it.
one of the really cool parts is on the promo art, which looks very bright and very like colorful. Like, it's insanely colorful, even compared to some of the old New Warriors stuff. They've got Speedball in the old school bright colored suit, though he's Robbie's like chopped his hair off, so he's got a little buzz cut. But yeah, you got like Firestar in her classic Spider-Man and Amazing Friends yellow bodysuit with the red domino mask. Namorita in kind of a weird looking like Atlantean swimsuit, but it's an actual one piece instead of the weird bikinis. And then yeah, Rage, Silhouette, and Night Thrasher, which supposedly is going to be the return of because of Matthew Rosenberg brought him back in Punisher, it's actually going to be Dwayne. So the actual real Night Thrasher, not the brother. But yeah, it'll be Night Thrasher coming back with the kids. So, oh yes, I guess. Oh yeah, that was what it was. They said the Maestro brought him back in the Contest of Champions, so he was resurrected during that. The one kid that chooses to go into combat riding a skateboard. Where in the 90s it was just to be cool. In the article they talk about like doing that in the 2020s. That's a fucking choice.
And let's kill the past, especially with that.
You shut up.
Let's kill the skateboarder.
I'm gonna order 2 copies of it on my pull list.
This is Kylo Willie joining us today.
Apparently.
Yes.
And that's enough out of him.
No.
I'm getting more New Warriors. You shut your face.
I don't care. Do that. Do what you feel is right. And I'll do what I feel is right.
I'm super excited. I can't wait. They're one of my favorite comics of all time. I literally own every single issue of every volume of New Warriors, including the giant omnibus of like the first 70 issues. And behind me up on the stack up on the wall is 3 pages of original Mark Bagley art from the first series run of New Warriors.
Are you sure? All I see is Funko Pops that are not movie villains.
No, it's past those. Wait.
Just stop while you're not ahead.
Right.
Just
there.
stop.
Up
No,
against that
I'm
back
not
wall.
even looking. I'm not even looking.
Those are comic book pages right there.
For
Those are
you
original
audio
11
only
by
listeners, he's
17.
pointing for no reason.
Yep.
Because I'm not looking.
They're original 11 by 17 comic book pages in plastic sleeves, drawn by Mark Bagley, inked by Art Thibert, and they are gorgeous.
Are we done with this? All right, we're done with this.
Willie, you have very strong feelings about your lack of feeling here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kylo Willie, whatever.
Do you want Kylo Willie or Kylo Nelson? Or Kylo D. Nelson.
Kylo Nelson.
Willie
Kylo
Solo.
Nelson. Ah, yeah, we can call him Willie Solo. You can be related to Han Solo. How do you like that? You can have a made-up last name, too.
Oh, the worst made up last
every
name in
name's
the movie
made up.
No, every word's made up. Names carry on.
But names are also made up. Names are words too.
That's
Don't take away that power. How are they not words? They're written down. They're spoken. They're words.
Because now I'm just going to disagree with you.
That's right. Whatever. I mean, we already know you're wrong anyway.
Wow.
Mhm. Says the Man of Steel lover. We know who the audience agrees with.
I said I enjoyed that movie, and it's the best DC. What do they call it?
See, and that's the part where you're wrong.
The DC. No, it's my favorite one. How's that? How's that wording for you? It's my favorite one.
The opinion part's fine. You can have an opinion. You can't tell me it's the best DC movie because then you're wrong.
All right, I haven't seen Aquaman yet, so I don't know if that one's better.
Oh, by a damn sight, it's better.
Shazam is better, too.
Shazam is better than all of them.
Shazam
Shazam is the best DCU movie they've done.
I don't really like kids like that in my movies.
But it is not an Academy Award-winning film like The Suicide Squad is.
Oh shit! What that went in again? Special
Makeup.
effects, makeup,
Yeah.
Makeup.
Oh yes,
It
makeup. It counts, I
It
guess.
beat Star Trek in makeup and special effects. I'm like, did you not see all the aliens they made in Star Trek? What the hell?
In all fairness, Killer Croc did look really good. The makeup team worked their ass off on that character. He looked fantastic.
Idris Elba.
Yeah, so did Idris Elba as an alien. I'm not saying Star Trek didn't. I'm just saying I'll shit on Suicide Squad, but I'm not going to shit on that makeup team because they did do some good work.
Do you know how
And I
annoying
will-
that win makes the release the Snyder Cut people on the internet? Because they're like,
Oh, yeah.
DC movies have an Academy Award win. Where's the one for Marvel? I'm like, it's makeup and special effects. Shut up.
Yeah, and who cares? Marvel got 22 movies culminating in the most money-selling movie of all time. They won.
I don't
And
know.
I will say also, I was proud of Suicide Squad for actually doing something that Marvel just didn't have the balls to do originally. It's just full on, just magic.
Which was copy
Just-
Guardians.
magic. Just like, hey, let's just straight up magic in here. Thor? No, that's not magic. There's no magic there. Still going to disagree with you guys on that one.
No, because then they waited to bring magic in with Doctor Strange, and then
Yeah,
it's
no, they
actual
finally
magic.
did. They finally did.
Yeah.
And didn't Suicide Squad come out before that?
Which, side note, we didn't talk about
I
this
don't
week. Doctor Strange, the sequel, lost
Yep.
Scott Derrickson as a director this week. Creative
Wait, what?
differences. Yes.
Oh no, they took Scott
Came out-
Derrickson off. No, I
Scott
didn't see that.
Derrickson left because of creative differences, I believe, is what he had said.
Damn,
But
what the-
rumor mill is we're getting a Batman.
We're already getting a Batman.
Yeah, no, the rumor mill
Marvel.
is that we're getting
Marvel's
a,
getting Batman. Christian Bale.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
Christian Bale
yeah,
supposedly
yeah.
being cast in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh, that no, they specified the movie.
Love and Thunder was the rumor I had
Yeah.
seen as the movie he was being cast.
Yeah,
for.
was that who's going to be in Thor? Yeah.
Make
No, the
him
rumor
Beta Ray
also
Bill. I want to see super method
Yeah.
Christian Bale somehow be Beta Ray Bill.
I've seen a whole bunch of people.
I'm a
talking about
horse,
they wanna
damn it!
see him- yeah, they want to see him as Beta Ray. No, the one I saw this week was the seventh, I think, director allegedly
Of
making
the
a
Flash.
Flash movie, talking about how it is going to be not Flashpoint, so they're going to use Flashpoint and then not tell the Flashpoint story, which is possibly the most asinine thing any director's ever said.
So it's just like the Flash TV show where they set up the awesome thing that is Flashpoint and finish it in an episode.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, and just the entire idea of your first movie with your character, which already has nothing to do with any version of the character that's ever been in a comic book, and he has a garbage outfit, and you're gonna make the first story about the story where he redid the whole timeline and fucked everything up.
Well,
That's your first story.
It's how you reboot the universe, I guess.
It's so fucking dumb. But then again, yeah, like I said on Twitter, the director allegedly making the Flash movie this week says what? Yeah, he's like the seventh motherfucker that's been attached to that movie. I'm not gonna. I don't believe that there's a Flash movie coming until I actually see it playing in a theater screen. Even if there's a trailer, I'm not gonna believe that they're gonna finish it. They've gone through more fucking directors than anything ever. And honestly, I don't want garbage suit autistic fake Barry Allen. That character was poorly written.
Don't disagree. But that does wrap up our news of the week. Before we start shutting down the show, I did mean
Not my Barry Allen.
not my Barry.
That's right. Not my Barry Allen.
It's like that little kid Iron Man 2 is not my Spider-Man.
We also need to talk about
Little
releasing
shit.
the JJ cut. Release the JJ cut.
Oh,
Let's talk
God,
about
yeah.
Star Wars. We'll I don't know. Someone else kick us off on this one. It's Star Wars, so I'm kind of meh.
I love it. I have a new favorite character. Have we all seen it? Did you actually even see it yet?
Yeah, we saw it like
Yeah, he saw it early on.
that Thursday before.
Okay.
He said it was perfectly fine, or something.
Yeah, I
like
can't
that.
remember if
there's
you've
nothing
seen it
wrong
or
with
not.
Yeah, it's a good
No.
movie. It's whatever.
Yeah, I saw it and then turned around and took my friend back to see it a couple of days later, so I've seen it twice. My lady friend is awesome and was able to find my new favorite Star Wars character in a toy within like 2 weeks and got it for me. So I actually have a Babu Freak that comes with the C-3PO from the Black Series Rise of Skywalker toy. So I actually have a Babu. And so now I've started actually going a little crazy and getting Black Series. But yeah, I have a little tiny Babu and I have a Babu shirt. And Babu Freak is my new favorite Star Wars character. I
Babu
fucking
Freak.
love him.
Babu Freak.
He's super freaky.
For droidy. I said droidy.
He's super droid smithy.
There you go.
I am
I like that
Babu. Haha, droid go boom. Like, I fucking love that little dude. I don't know why. I've always enjoyed Star Wars. Like, I've been a Star Wars kid forever. Like, one of the oldest pictures of me is I'm like 5 years old going to kindergarten wearing an Empire Strikes Back shirt. That was my school photo for the year. And like, I have that on my desk at work now as an adult.
Because that's the year it came out, wasn't it, when you were in 5th grade?
I said kindergarten. I was 5. And yeah, I think
I'm messing
83.
with you.
83 was, yeah, it had been out. But yeah, because yeah, I'm old.
That's the joke.
I'm only 1 year younger than Star Wars itself. Star Wars came out in 77. I came out in 78. 78 was my release date. But no, I've always been a fan of Star Wars. I've always loved Star Wars, but I don't know why. For some odd reason, that little fucking dude, I love the idea of a little tiny droid smith that's just like a foot tall and is just like the world's best droid hacker. Like, he's such a cool character. But no, I enjoyed the movie. It was a fun Star Wars film. It was, yeah, a whole lot of fuck yous to Ryan Johnson. A whole lot of...
And they're
a
like,
whole
no,
lot
no,
of-
no, we didn't mean anything about what Ryan did.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's freaking Star Wars Episode 9. We're sorry about The Last Jedi, is what this movie
kinda.
was.
Yeah. There was some very... I read an article, they were talking about just the very specific things, and like, when you actually fucking sit down and put a point to point, it's like, wow, they were really kind of harsh on some of this stuff.
I'm still sticking to my guns that a lot of the problems in the Last Jedi, it could have been solved if they just didn't park like assholes on the beach.
Right?
I hate people who can't fucking park. So
Fair enough.
fuck you, Finn.
But I don't know. I mean, JJ had to come back, finish a trilogy that he started, and apparently undo a bunch of the Ryan Johnson stuff, and then, you know, do whatever Kathleen Kennedy told him to do. But like, we got a fucking epic sword fight out in the middle of a giant raging ocean on the remains of the Death Star. So like, it mirrored, you know, it's a water version of the fight on like Mustafar with freaking, you know, Ben and Anakin going nuts over the lava. We got Ben and Rey going nuts over giant crashing waves, which is just an awesome sword fight. Yeah, we got freaking 3PO actually like doing something heroic for the first time really in 9 movies. And let's be fair, Anthony Daniels possibly giving his best performance as the only actor who's been in all 9 films. It's just him, guys. Like, he's the only one. Start to finish, those are the Anthony Daniels saga. It's really just the story of 2 droids and the stupid humans they run into. The difference being poor Kenny Baker didn't make it all the way through.
And since you mentioned that ocean fight, credit to Corridor crew, they did fix the his cape, whatever, his jacket thing, Kylo Ren's little jacket from the reflection in the trailer.
Oh, yeah.
For some reason, it didn't have it in the trailer, but in the movie, it did have it. I was looking for it. I was like,
Huh.
they fixed it.
Nice.
They must be
Yeah.
listening.
Oh, they're always listening.
Hey, Google's always... I know you're listening to me, phone. Oh,
Your phone's always listening. But
and
no,
it apparently
I
just
enjoyed
pulled up
it.
something. I didn't say, hey, Google. Why are you talking?
I enjoyed it. We got some Poe stuff with his cute ex-girlfriend. Find out he was a spice runner. We got Finn finding out that he was, you know, that there's more stormtroopers like him out there that got away from the First Order.
You mean Disney effectively burying any chance of the shippers getting their Poe and Finn relationship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was bound to happen. They can only
Did
be
you
so
just hold on? Did you
No,
say
they
the
did put the
shippers?
lesbian kiss in.
Yes.
Yeah, he said
the
shippers.
lesbian kiss they
The
could conveniently
shippers?
cut out easily to distribute in Singapore because they could cut 2 seconds of the film out
Yeah,
and no one would
because
notice.
it's an easy spot to remove.
Yeah. It's not Star Wars being progressive. That was
Yeah.
Star Wars pandering.
I don't like that term shippers. I'm still on that.
It's always been a term, though, man.
It's a dumb term.
It's not a great one. But no,
Thanks.
yeah. I enjoyed it. Like I
Wait,
said, I saw
Bachman
it and turned
agreed
right
with
back
me.
around and went and saw it again the same weekend. So it was fun. It was Star Wars. I'll buy it as soon as it comes out. One of these days, I'll sit down and watch all 9 in a row. It'll be a real long weekend, but it'll be fun.
Bachman agreed with me.
It happens every once in a while. I try not to, people. I try to be just stubborn and controversial just for the fun of it, but every once in a while, I got to agree with Willie.
This was a movie of Star Wars plays it safe. They played it safe. They undid
Yeah.
everything that was controversial. They pandered to the elements that were pissed off about what they saw in The Last Jedi, and they played it safe. And they put Palpatine in there out of nowhere for no discernible reason. Now, I love Ian McDiarmid. It's great to see
was
him
alright
there
with it.
again. But what? You took the Skywalker story and made it all about Palpatine now.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, not to rehash a bunch of stuff that Mark Bernardin said on Fat Man Beyond, but like he talked a whole bunch about like the fact that like it basically nullifies Anakin's sacrifice of the Emperor
Right.
by
I
doing
had
the
similar
partial
thoughts.
Dark Empire story, which I like the idea of like the clone banks all over the galaxy, that he had actually figured out the Sith way of moving his consciousness into a clone body, because that's straight out the comics. And that was one of my favorite comics when they found out that Palpatine wasn't dead. He did find a way to resurrect himself. But yeah, it kind of makes Anakin's sacrifice, which I never really thought Anakin actually redeemed himself anyways. Be as pissed off as you want about Ben Solo turning into Kylo and being kind of a little emo kid. He didn't go running around murdering Jedi younglings in a temple with his bare fucking hands. Anakin is a murderous son of a
Yes, he
bitch.
did. He destroyed Luke Skywalker's Jedi temple.
My Sith
He took out the
sacrifice.
temple and took the
Look,
kids with him that wanted to join him.
Here is one of the hardest things for me on this sequel trilogy. They completely set it up in The Last Jedi that Kylo was like, no, I don't want to be good. I want to rule the damn galaxy. None of this matters to me. I want to do things my way. And it's all of a sudden, he's Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. Oh, we need to figure out how to turn him back. Palpatine's back. Colin Trevorrow wasn't going to use Palpatine. And now it's Palpatine's back, so we can make Ben Solo be the good guy all of a sudden. I'm like, wait, what? The last movie was all about him being like, I don't want to be good. This is what I want to be. I don't want to be a product of the past. Destroy it all. Let it burn. Let me create my own future. Let me do what I deem is right for the galaxy. And then it's
Sounds smart.
We're gonna undo it.
Yeah.
Every risk they took in The Last Jedi, whether you like it or not, they took a lot of risks in it.
Yeah.
They undid almost everything in Rise of
Yep.
Skywalker. I thought it was an incredibly powerful and poignant thing that Rey is a nobody, but the Force chose her. She's powerful. It's not about dynasties in the Force and how you can say the Skywalkers are a dynasty when they lasted 3 generations before dying out. I don't know. But then all of a sudden it's, nope, you're not a nobody. You're actually Palpatine's granddaughter. And I'm like,
Whoa, hold on. That's right. Anakin Skywalker was a virgin birth, wasn't he?
yes.
Yeah, he's
Didn't
Christ.
I forgot all about that. Like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah, the midichlorians impregnated his mom.
Yes. That was the prophecy of the chosen one. Now,
Yeah.
it just seems like they went out of their way to undo everything that people complained about. And poor Kelly Marie Tran goes from being a main character in The Last Jedi
She got screwed.
to 1 minute and 20 seconds of screen time in The Last Jedi, in Rise of Skywalker.
Which one
Yeah.
is it?
Rose.
Rose
Oh,
Tycho.
Rose
I
Tycho.
like
Yeah.
Rose. I do
The
like
one who
Rose.
was like all of a sudden becoming Finn's love interest at the end of Last Jedi, and then the new movie, gets like less than 2 minutes on screen and is barely mentioned.
And they tried
Like-
to spin it that they were trying to put her scenes with some of the reused footage they used of Carrie Fisher, and it just didn't work right. But whether that's your intent or not, you just painted a picture of, hey, all you fans who are toxic and hated the fact that there was an Asian woman we made a main character in Star Wars, oh, yeah, we're going to basically nerf her role, so she's not in the movie at all.
Well,
Yeah.
she did park that fucking spaceship very shittily, so I'm still angry about that.
the part that really bugged me though was the Knights of Ren.
They were
Here's
pointless.
this badass
Who
squad
cares?
Yeah.
of badass dudes that run with Kylo Ren, and they run all over the galaxy kicking ass, but you'll never actually see them kick anybody's ass. And then the one movie where they get screen time, they're going to follow Rey around a bit.
They're there to sell toys. Now,
And then their gang leader's going to kick all their asses.
right?
When he turns into a bad guy, or when he turns into a good guy in the last 5 minutes of the film.
I mean, aren't
And
they the
flies
Knights
a TIE
of
fighter
Ren?
from
Why
the
don't they
fallen
just,
Death Star with no hyperdrive to a hidden Sith planet that no one's supposed to know how to find, that has hordes of Sith loyalists that are there watching a fight in the end, that have somehow built a secret Sith mysterious fleet bigger than the Empire's fleet in the First Orders in the span of 20 years.
Yeah, and as Kevin Smith put it, who the fuck's flying all them ships?
Yeah. So
All of a sudden, hey, check it out. We got 100,000 Star Destroyers. Cool, right? You got any crews? No, no crews.
That are
you got any pilots? Gunners? Nah, we got none.
We're going back to droids.
Here's the problem. It's 100,000 mini Death Stars because we can't get away from fucking planet destroyers.
Yeah. We can't get away from Death Stars. If anything, yeah. The one funny thing about Rise of Skywalker, it's the callback movie. It's everything you thought you knew about Star Wars is wrong. This is the story of a Skywalker versus a Palpatine. It is another story of fucking redemption at the last fucking moment. And some cool lightsaber fights.
Look, there's
Star Wars.
There's a lot of fan service, but there's some really cool things that happen in there, like the fight that Rey and Kylo have between the planet he's on and the ship that she's on, where we're using their connection. That was awesome. Where like Vader's helmet ends up on the surface of the planet, stuff like that. That was really cool. There are some really cool moments in this film. I just feel like they played it super safe. And I'm really, really annoyed that they pandered to the Reylo fandom at the end, because that's gross. And did you see who's catching the most flack for it right now? Is freaking John Boyega.
Gross.
Is he?
Yeah. Did you see the tweet he put out there that everyone hates on him for? Oh, here we go. Oh, wrong thing. Here we go, right here. His Star Wars romance one, if you're watching the live stream right now, that is basically Kylo torturing Rey, Rey stabbing Kylo, them having two different lightsaber fights, and that's romance in Star Wars.
And then they kiss.
Well, that's romance everywhere. I mean, look at how many people are in bad relationships they shouldn't be in.
Yeah,
that's true.
But
that's fucking life,
not necessarily a good relationship.
And then here's the kicker: is like he put that out there, and he's got like all of these fans that are just attacking him with racist vitriol and stuff like that, and it continues.
Let's stop calling them fans.
Yeah, it continues to cut back to the problem that is. There was an article someone tried to write that the problem with Star Wars is the fans. No, that's not the problem. The problem with Star Wars is a small segment that call themselves fans still that can't help but crap all over if they don't get what they don't want. I'm disappointed with Rise of Skywalker because I didn't really get what I wanted, but it doesn't make me be like, everyone who loves it sucks and everything that is cool about it actually sucks because the whole movie sucks. No, I just kind of walked away and went, man, this isn't really what I wanted. They played it safe, but cool, it's an interesting story. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with like Mandalorian and the possible Rebels cartoon continuation and some of these other things. I think Star Wars needs a break from movies for a bit. It's time to just take a break.
And with this being the 9th one, we might actually get it.
Yeah. I mean, Iger at one point in time said they were going to take at least 2 years before they started talking about another Star Wars movie.
Yeah. Plus, yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I really liked it. I probably liked it better than most, but yeah, like hearing some of the stuff, especially like, I mean, this Mark Bernard and Kevin Smith, when they tear these movies apart, like they're always so good because Mark Bernard is such a good writer. They're great about picking the one like little thing you could change that would make it so much better. And I think they said it was one of the other writers that they know from one of the CW shows that had told them, was discussing it with them and said all they needed to do was that scene with Hannah when she's telling John Boyega why her whole team of stormtroopers quit was because they heard about Finn.
Yeah.
If she said that was the reason, was we heard about you. You quit being a stormtrooper. We heard that story. That inspired us to all fucking stop being stormtroopers.
And see,
that would have made a huge difference to her character and Finn's character. It would have made him like an inspiration.
And that ties so well into what they established with Last Jedi at the end, with Luke's sacrifice at the end, which was he became a symbol to the galaxy. Is that sometimes what it takes is a symbol for people to rally behind. And that symbol was the Last Jedi Master standing out there waving his laser sword around, trying to stop the First Order single-handedly. That then inspired people, but somehow stopped inspiring them until Lando Calrissian went around the galaxy in the Millennium Falcon to rally troops. Again,
people really do like that ship.
Yeah, so there's disconnects, and And that's what I struggled with. And I think a lot of what you had here is they tried to fit too much into the movie. I think there was a lot of content left on the floor. I feel like Finn kind of got a disservice in this movie. He ran around and chased after Rey, yelling, Rey, and Rey, I have to tell you something, before at the end they're magically like, you're a general now. Go do these things, which awesome for the character. That's a great character progression arc, but it didn't feel earned. I mean, the biggest thing, and J.J. Abrams talked about it, and Chris Terrio, who co-wrote with him, also a co-writer of Batman v Superman, so bear in mind maybe this is where some of the concerns come. He makes this point of when they think they're dying in that sand trap, Rey, I need to tell you something. And everyone's like, oh, he's going to admit that he's in love with her or something like that.
Nope.
They go, no. What it was is he wanted to tell her that he thought he was force sensitive, which they then hinted at later in the movie. That should have been in there more.
Oh, it should have been in.
The fact that the Force was awakening in people, and that a stormtrooper who turned against the First Order finds out or figuring out that he's force sensitive, and that starts to... I'm not saying he should have been a Jedi, but they should have been more explicit about the fact that, hey, this is kind of a big deal. He's a symbol. He's someone who turned, who is good, who has the Force, who is the potential. He's the future of the galaxy.
Yeah, and when Rey dies, like, they give you the full shot of a Force-sensitive person feeling a death in the Force, and it's Finn that the camera is on. Mm-hmm. So if you're a huge Star Wars fan, you see that scene, and you know that's Finn feeling Rey die in the Force. He is full-on Force-sensitive. Like, he's ready to be trained to become a Jedi. But yeah, they could have been definitely more explicit with it and made it more of a focus on him. Yeah, this is the guy that turned against the First Order's brainwashing. All these this other whole group of Force troopers all stopped. They could all be Force sensitive, and that's why the brainwashing didn't work. And they're all ready to be fucking raise recruits now. New fucking, Jedi Temple. Let's get some new kids in there and fucking put some lightsabers in their hands.
Yeah, well, I can't say I'm a little sad here.
Why is that?
Well, because we're not going to get another Star Wars movie anytime soon, which means we're not going to get a Solo 2 Hyperspace Boogaloo. I'm a little sad by that.
We're talking in the chat room. We need Rogue 2.
Didn't everyone fucking die?
Everyone's dead.
New team, new military mission. Everybody dies at the end. So you have all new characters that you get to love for one movie, and then you murder them all.
Can we also have a trailer that shows a lot of cool stuff that's not in the goddamn movie?
Of course we can.
Yeah. In all seriousness, I think that's probably your future of Star Wars for the short-term future. And by short-term, I mean within the next 5 years, is television stuff like we're getting with The Mandalorian and the Kenobi show, and then rumored other spin-offs that are coming, and then more like one-off movies and stuff like that. I don't think we need to worry about trying to do things that are beholden to the saga. They can take place during it, like we're seeing with Mandalorian, but honestly, you don't have to watch Star Wars to get why Mandalorian is fun.
Yeah.
All right, stick with me here.
All right.
I'm hoping honestly that they're ballsy enough that the next trilogy we get is Knights of the Old Republic. I hope they jump timelines.
Well, that's
I was gonna say that, but I was going in the opposite direction. Instead of a long, long time ago, let's make it current day.
So, both points. The one rumor that's going around right now is the next movie or next series will focus on the High Republic era, meaning when the Old Republic was at its peak, but still with a Yoda that's alive in it. I don't know if I believe that rumor. Don't forget that Rian Johnson was also signed to a 3-picture deal with Lucasfilm to do a story that, as he said, was set thousands of years after the Skywalker saga.
Yeah, see, the one thing I think they do need to do is make sure in the next, whatever big story is, there should be no Skywalker. There should be no reference to the 9 films that we now know. It should either be the far future or the far past.
Well,
but break it off completely.
Yet somehow the Millennium Falcon will show up thousands of years from now.
Yeah, well, I mean...
that hunk of junk will never die.
I mean,
I like the idea of them going to Old Republic and us seeing the Jedi back when they were like knights and sentries that, were like damn near bodyguards, basically, in red armor.
The Jedi before they became flawed as they were in the prequel trilogy.
Basically.
Yeah. Because that was one of the other things that really annoyed me that they kind of retconned was I thought Luke was right in The Last Jedi, that the Jedi were romanticized and that they were flawed, and it's their fault the galaxy is where it is because they let Sidious consolidate power right underneath their nose.
Under the nose.
They never evolved, and they brought the Chosen One in and expected him to conform to Jedi standards instead of realizing this is a kid that's traumatized, that's been enslaved for 10 years, left his mother behind, has no idea what's going to happen to him. Oh, we need to teach him how to be a Jedi with no emotion. I mean, the Jedi Order, as we saw it in the Lucasfilm movies, was flawed. and broken.
Yeah.
And you could argue to an extent, I hate the line in Revenge of the Sith, but from my point of view, the Jedi are evil. You kind of understand a little bit from Anakin's point of view. He might see them that way because it's all about conform to what we want. Don't be yourself. Loving your wife, loving your brother and Obi-Wan. That's wrong. And they were kind of wrong and flawed.
Their
and
cult
fell apart.
rules. Yeah, their cult rules were not working for him.
I thought that was a fascinating point that they brought up in Last Jedi, and then they kind of just undid it in Rise of Skywalker. Like, the Jedi live on in you. We're all with you. Do the Jedi way of things. I'm like, hold on. You need to evolve what the Jedi were. You can't conform to the dogmatic teachings of the Jedi, or it's all going to happen again. It's going to be just like Battlestar Galactica. All of this has happened before.
Yep.
All of this will
all
happen
happened
again
before.
if
It
you
will
do
happen
not
again.
evolve. And I don't know. Maybe I enjoyed Last Jedi more than I thought I would, especially after I've watched Rise of Skywalker, because it took a chance. That being said, maybe they shouldn't have taken a chance and done something so different, because I think that's part of what fractured people, is that some people loved it, some people hated it, some people didn't want to see Star Wars evolve, and then it just made everything more divisive from that point. I think it's a fascinating movie. I think it would have been better off doing something, if you wanted to touch on those kind of topics, as one of the anthology films or something that's set in between, because it took Star Wars away from what you could argue it's supposed to be, which is a kids' movie about galactic adventures and flashy space fights and laser swords and a more modern and nuanced take on Flash Gordon. It didn't become that anymore. It became more of a, holy shit, they're putting out some real thought-provoking stuff I need to think about that could change my worldview on Star Wars as a whole. And I think maybe that's why Rise of Skywalker kind of rubs me the wrong way at times, because it feels like everything they did that was taking a chance and that I enjoyed about making me think differently, they wanted to be, don't think like that anymore. Go back to what it was before.
Yeah, Rise of Skywalker went back into more of like, it's a kid's movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's an enjoyable kid's movie. A 10-year-old watching that movie is going to love it.
Right. Agreed.
And not see any of the shit that we're pulling apart, which in 1977, that's who all was going to the theater and dragging their parents were the kids that love these movies. And so, yeah, I think for that reason, Rise of Skywalker is great.
I agree.
I could see problems in both of them, but yeah, like Last Jedi was definitely way more of an adult aimed film.
Yes.
But Rian Johnson is a more adult director.
Yes. So I guess that's part of where some of my difficulty with this movie comes, is that I fully admit I was far too invested of a Star Wars fan for a long time. I've talked about it on this show and other ones before. At one point in time, I'd read all of the expanded universe and owned all of the books through New Jedi Order and some of those other things. I was so bought in, so built into things. And one of the first things that happened with the acquisition was yank RA the EU. And that rubbed me the wrong way at first, but I sort of get it. And I kind of enjoy now how they're taking elements that work, like Grand Admiral Thrawn, and folding it back in.
Yeah.
And kind of keeping it faithful to what he was in there before. But I think it's tough for some fans, if you become the fan who was like I was, that was so invested in things, had read so much content, become invested in it, debated online on different message boards about everything, to go back to remembering it's a popcorn flick for kids, because that's what it's supposed to be. And once after Rise of Skywalker, I could step out and kind of distance myself from my initial reaction. I could go, okay, it's a movie for kids. I understand how kids can enjoy it. And maybe if I can keep myself in that mindset, I enjoy it more. But it's tough because I was so invested for so long. And it felt like to me that Last Jedi was kind of rewarding in that fact that it paid off on a lot of those themes they sort of hinted at in a lot of the expanded universe, or in a lot of the conversations I had with folks about, let's take it more to just Jedi good, Sith bad. Are they actually good? I think that's my difficulty. And I don't know if I'm really doing a good job of describing it, because I'm kind of just struggling to get it out there, because I don't want people to think I hate Rise of Skywalker, that I hate Star Wars. No, I don't. I still love Star Wars. It's just not what I wanted, and I'm disappointed in my initial cut. And then I can realize that I'm not the target, so my disappointment is not an indictment on saying that it's terrible.
Yeah, there's a difference between being disappointed with a film and not liking it. That's not the same thing.
Mm-hmm. I didn't like parts of it, and I
like both of them for different reasons.
I could not help myself in the movie when you got the Ben and Rey kiss. You heard me go, "Oh, son of a bitch," from my seat, because it wasn't earned. It wasn't earned. They have a weird connection in the Force.
By the Force.
They're connected by the Force, and then all of a sudden, everything bad that he's done means I love you now.
Star Wars has always been about fairly easy redemption.
Yeah, but
You do one good thing and you're not a bad guy no more.
it's look at the Han and Leia relationship and how they built that through Empire and Jedi. It's so much better done.
That's true.
Watch what you say, you scruffy nerf herder.
Fair. I just feel like it could have been done better, and it felt like so many of those things in the last movie were done just to hit a certain beat because that's what the test audience was like, or that's what's going to sell toys. I don't know. Maybe I'm being overly critical there, but I don't know. It's a fine movie. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's fine. It played it safe. It did what they needed to do to be commercially successful and to potentially reunite some of the fractured fan base.
Yeah. Plus, I don't know. Adam Driver got to act his ass off. I'll give him that.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
He's great through this whole trilogy. And then one of his best moments of acting is literally just a shrug. And it fucking carries an entire scene.
And when you see that, you go, oh, that's Han Solo's kid. Because that's the same kind of thing you saw Harrison Ford do as Han.
Perfect. It was perfect. The son of Han Solo pulls a lightsaber out of nowhere like a fucking magic trick, looks at his boys and goes, about to fuck you up.
Yeah.
And then kills all of them.
Yes.
That was so perfect. And yeah, Adam Driver is, I mean, he's just a great actor all in all. But to pull off a Han Solo moment in the 9th movie of a series, like, and he fucking nailed it.
Yes.
There's no talking, there's no overt bullshit. He just shrugs at him, and you're like, oh, it's perfect. That's fucking Ben Solo.
I don't buy the redemption of Kylo Ren, but I really did enjoy seeing Adam Driver play Ben Solo.
Yes,
that was fun.
yes.
I still don't.
Yeah.
I don't buy the whole redemption of I've decided to be evil, and then my mother contacts me telepathically, even though she's done it before, while I'm fighting Rey, and I get stabbed and decide I'm going to be good. What?
Because the chick I apparently have a weird crush on healed me.
Now, some of that is a problem because Carrie Fisher had passed away. I bet some of that would have been different had Carrie Fisher still been alive. By all accounts, she's supposed to play a much bigger role in the movie. Like they were saying, Force Awakens about Han, Last Jedi about Luke, and then the final one about Carrie is what it was supposed to be. They can't do that because she passed away. But I can't help but think that the surprise of having Han Solo appear, which I never had any clue that was going to happen, that was kind of cool, would have been very different had Carrie Fisher been alive. And you would have had Force Ghost Leia or Leia projecting herself like Luke did in Last Jedi to try and gain better control and to bring her son back. But the fact that
if it had been his mom and dad showing up at the same time.
Yeah, but the fact that she'd effectively said in Last Jedi that her son's dead, and then all of a sudden like, I'm going to redeem him. I was like, what? A year ago you were like, he's dead. There's no bringing him back from this.
I'll be honest, I still thought, like, who the fuck is Admiral Hodo? That should have been fucking that should have been General Organa. The Organa move should be fucking turning a ship and warp driving it through a Star Destroyer.
Oh, you mean the thing that they retconned by saying that's 1 in a million, that you can actually pull that off with a throwaway line in Rise of Skywalker? More of, hey, remember Last Jedi? Sorry about that. We're going to undo that.
Hey, never tell me the odds.
Right? I don't know.
Like, it would have been so much better if they just got rid of the whole Hodo character and made that be fucking the last scene with Carrie, and then just figure out. I mean, of course, that would have left the problem of what the fuck are we doing in 9 with there's nobody from the original cast left but fucking C-3PO and Chewie. But yeah, it would have been a much better exit for General Organa if she took out fucking the biggest fucking like fleet.
Yeah.
Like if she just, the last move is no, fuck you. I'm not leaving without a fight. And she takes out all those ships. That would have been so much better.
That would have been cool, but from a filmmaking perspective, I don't know how they would have done it because they'd already finished all of the filming on Last Jedi, and we're in post-production. And
when Carrie died,
I don't know how you would undo that, and I wouldn't want to lose that scene we got in Last Jedi of Luke and Leia seeing each other for the first time in years, where he hands her the dice out of the Millennium Falcon.
That's true.
I would not want to lose that because that's a powerful scene. That was a
the brother and sister scene was really good. Yeah, there's always stuff that could be better, but I enjoyed both of them. I enjoyed all three of them. I like the whole trilogy.
Too bad they couldn't share a kiss again.
Right.
And you gotta kind of quit making out when you find out it's your sister.
And the other argument I've seen out there.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
And I conformed to it at first was, man, how could they not have had a better plan of what they're going to do with the sequel trilogy? And then you got to remember, the original trilogy, Lucas didn't have a full plan because remember, Luke and Leia were set up as the love interest at first, and it's she's your sister.
Yeah, she's your twin sister.
Now, that being said, I think Lucas did a far better job in the prequel trilogy of having things set up and knowing the overarching story and plot for it.
He just wrote a whole bunch about trade embargoes.
Right. Well, my final thought on this, because we need to transition off looking at the time, is that if they do another trilogy of films, I hope they learn a lesson from what Kevin Feige's been doing with Marvel. And instead of looking at it one film at a time, figure out what your overarching plot is across all three. And then you can do each film individually so that there's a consistent vision of what needs to go on. Because I think that's part of the problem with the sequel trilogy is that J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson had very different visions for where they saw things going, and those don't mesh together very well.
Well, and it seems like, because like at one moment Kathleen Kennedy's in charge of Star Wars, and one moment she's not, but then depending on which director they put in charge, this director's to do whatever they want up to a point, and then either they let them go ahead with it or they fire them and completely replace them.
Yeah.
Like, it's the powers that be involving Star Wars films seems to be kind of uneven, where you don't have like that Kevin Feige's in charge. This is how our story arc's going to go over 22 films. Now that we figured it out, like, you know, they need that one person that's the fucking final stamp of approval on the next trilogy. And a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's going to be a trilogy. Here's the overarching story we're going to tell, and here's the 3 stories we're going to tell that lead to that story.
Yes, and as we wrap this up, don't believe some of the rumors you've seen out there, like that one rumor that's floating out from Reddit, from the Saltier Than Crate subreddit, where someone's like, I have an insider about how Lucasfilm and Disney screwed J.J. Abrams over on purpose and stuff like that. I don't believe that. I don't believe maybe but 10% of what they say in there, because there's this whole theory that, we've got this deal, we're bringing JJ back, then he signs a deal with Warner Brothers while they're doing it. And like, we need to torpedo his career so he doesn't go and resurrect DC movies. No, they're not going to use Star Wars to torpedo someone's career. It sounds great on paper because everyone loves a conspiracy theory. Wants to be like, F you, Disney, trying to screw up this property I love. Here's why you did it. No, that's not what happened. Now, it's fascinating to read some of that stuff and to see how people cling to it as being the gospel truth and how they will not listen to reason. Because
it makes good internet fodder.
Oh, yeah. I went on that subreddit just because I was curious, and I actually made a comment on there because someone was bitching about The Mandalorian not having toys. I'm like, well, they already explained why. Here's the link with an interview with Jon Favreau and Lucasfilm about why they did it. Oh, it's bullshit. They could have had toys ready to go. I said, but he explains why. They would have leaked. Disney could keep those from leaking. I said, toys leak all the time. Didn't you see all the Lego sets from Marvel? And just folks would not listen to any argument. It's, no, they just could have done it because they're Disney. I'm like, but that's not how the world works. You can't have toys in production and in today's world not find out what they're going to be. You know as well as I do, everyone.
Yeah, we would have known about Baby Yoda a month ahead of time.
If they were making a toy of the child before the series came out, it would have showed up online as, look what's coming in The Mandalorian. And that reveal would have been ruined.
Yeah, and that was a great reveal at the end of that first episode. That was a shocker.
But I think we've done too much Star Wars talk because Willie's
I think Willie's asleep.
Willie's about had it with Star Wars, I can tell right now.
Willie's asleep with his eyes open over there.
But Willie,
that's all right. Willie looks like I do when y'all were talking about Pokemon.
In all seriousness, I kind of envy you, Willie, when it comes to your fandom or like of Star Wars, where it's just like, I just go see the movie, and if I like it, I like it. That's great. And if I don't, I don't, because you can enjoy it from a different perspective than me. And that's not me trying to belittle you. It's more of, you just haven't been as involved in like the EU stuff or any of the other stuff that I'd been into, I don't think. And you can take
belittle me.
Yeah, I wasn't meaning to.
You're acknowledging my greatness. Thank you.
Okay, that's fair.
See, and I'm apparently somewhere in the middle because I found something fun in all 9 of the Star Wars saga films, and I own all of them, and I own all the side movies, and I found something fun in all of those as well. And now I'm actually starting to read more of the comics and more of the stuff. But I was a huge fan of Star Wars Legacies, the future version of Cade Skywalker. Like, there's some good stuff, and I always find something fun in a Star Wars.
Yeah, there's fun things in this last one. Please don't take it me as being like, it sucks, don't watch it. It's just, I found flaws with it.
And it's got Babu motherfuckers. Babu freak! Yeah.
It also has the Ghost from Star Wars Rebels in it, so I'm cautiously optimistic, and I want to find out who was flying it.
Yeah, who's piloting the Ghost?
It's probably Jason at this point in time, but I'm not 100% sure. The ship
It
from Star Wars,
doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
he Dwayne Johnson to me right there.
Yeah, he did. He rocked you.
He rocked me. All right.
Yeah.
I need to
Who's
stop
piloting
talking.
the ghost and
Back
where
on Peter.
is Ezra? Where
Well,
is Ezra?
okay, so you baited me right there. There's a rumor floating around, and this has been brought up on a couple different subreddits with a couple different sources that supposedly they are planning a Rebels continuation as a Disney Plus series
Ooh.
centered around Sabine and Ahsoka, with looking for Ezra, and then also time with Ezra and Thrawn where they are.
That would be the coolest thing ever.
Yes.
And if they literally do a show that's like starring Sabine and Ahsoka, so many fans will be so goddamn happy. Like the coolest bounty hunter since Boba Fett, like the coolest Mando since Mando, and the coolest Jedi that's not a Jedi. Like motherfucking people will love that, and every little girl in the world will love that show. If it stars Sabine and Ahsoka, like two of the baddest chicks in Star Wars, that would be awesome.
If it ends up being true, I've seen it a couple different places, so I want it to be true, but I haven't seen anything that confirms it. But I mean, Dave Filoni was kind of hinting at the fact that there's still more plans for Ahsoka.
Yeah,
I mean, she was in Rise of Skywalker, so
yeah, and there has to be because she's awesome.
right? She's probably the best well-formed Jedi they've had because they've built her over across 2 cartoon series, and
I love me some snips.
yeah. So that might be happening, but
That got Willie. He doesn't know what that's a reference to.
Big city Sneeps, boys.
Big City Snipes.
I said Sneeps.
all right, we do need to start shutting this down. We've gone an hour and 40 minutes so far, so let's see if we can take somewhere between 5 to 10 minutes to wrap it up, because this is an extended
All right.
edition. And as we wrap things up, it's a little segment called What I'm Into. It's our chance to share with you guys who are watching live or listening at a later date just what kind of geeky and or nerdy things we've been getting into, so that you might go check them out yourselves. And I will kick things off by saying I had to go back to work this week. It was my first full week back, and I struggled mightily, so I didn't get to play as many video games as I wanted. However, I've been playing some Pokemon Sword as I tried to do some Dynamax raids, and I am this close to beating the final level of Broforce on the Nintendo Switch. It is still one of my favorite random games to go pick up and play, and I think it's still on sale in the eShop. There's a bunch of games on sale in the Nintendo eShop right now for the beginning of the year, so if you've been debating some games, go check and see what's on sale. You might enjoy them. And God, I don't know what else I've been getting into. Work and playing some games and watching dumb TV. I wish I had better stories to tell you guys, but that's all I've been getting into. Who would like to go next?
I can go or Willie can go. Willie, you ready? Or should I go?
Congratulations. You said the only 2 options there were.
I know.
I'll go. Sure. I'll keep this nice, short, and sweet. Dead by Daylight. I did get Jedi Fallen Order. Apparently, I've already passed Chris in my first little 2-hour playing of it. I bypassed Chris wherever he was.
Look, to be
Question.
fair, Pokemon came out at the same time, and my wife was really excited about Pokemon, so I defaulted to Pokemon.
Question, Willie, how far did you get in the Rift Battle Pass before it closed?
Dead by Daylight?
Yeah. Did you get all 70 levels?
Yeah, I got all 70 levels.
Did you have to buy any, or did you actually play enough to get
Well,
all
let's
of them?
not talk. Let's not get into the details of that.
Oh, I mean, I want to talk about it because there's a difference between the first season Battle Pass of Apex and the third season. Like, they made some changes, and I'm hoping Dead by Daylight does as well.
Yeah, they need to make some serious changes, like how the 4 chapters. I mean, I was all in it in the first chapter, and then I had nothing. And you had
to wait.
And I had to wait for the second chapter. I was like, and by that time, the Steam died down.
Yep.
So that's why I just couldn't. It was like,
Yeah, a full Battle Pass should be open from day one to where if you want to grind that fucker out in a week, you should be able to grind it out in a week.
yep. So I mean, I wanted to, but they the ones that shot themselves in the foot with that. Or they didn't because they got some more money for me. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah. So Jedi Fallen Order is still fun. I had to watch some videos and understand how the combat works because it is very slow.
It's very Dark Souls-ish is how people seem to have described it too.
I'm not quite 100% of a fan of it, but it's still fun. But yeah, and then I also got with the Jedi Fallen Order, I tossed a coin to my Witcher, and I got the Witcher 3 because It was on big sale and never really played it before.
I need to go back and play it. I bought it, like the entire collection on Xbox on one of their sales. I just haven't gotten to it, and I could always borrow my wife's copy on Switch if I just wanted to play there. I just haven't done it yet.
And I've been just hanging out with some friends. That's pretty much all I've been getting. Oh, I did watch Friday night. I watched Blow for the first time. That was a good
Nice.
movie. It's a good movie.
The
Paul
cocaine movie
Rubens.
from the late 90s?
Yeah,
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah,
But
Johnny
Paul
Depp
Rubens-
and Penelope Cruz.
Paul Rubens did a great job.
Yeah. Popeye. Fucking Pee-wee is good in that one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't really quite the right time to watch it. Wasn't feeling the mood for it, but I watched it and it was good. Continue on. Go, Bong, whatever.
He sounds so enthused. So after Christmas, I then had my 42nd birthday on last Saturday on the 5th. I turned 42 and got some more toys and presents and fun stuff. Because I'd gotten the one Black Series one, I started really looking at them, decided I am going to start collecting the 6-inch Black Series toys. So I got a couple in this week. I grabbed some of the cheap ones on Amazon because they're characters that people don't like DJ from Canto Bright, because he was like $4. So
I'm sorry, you're collecting what now?
they're the Star Wars Black Series 6-inch figures.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I'm
3
grabbing
my
things.
3/4 inch is where it's at.
Yeah, I'm getting some 6-inch Black Series, Willie. You love it. You love it. The other cheap one I got was a little cooler, which is actually, it's funny because it's on the 6-inch toys. They say some of them are 6-inch scale because some of the characters are shorter. So if you buy a 6-inch like Yoda, he's not 6 inches tall. He's to scale with a 6-inch character.
3
Yeah.
3/4 inch is where it's at.
Yeah, Chris has got the G.I. Joe size ones. I actually have all of the Series 1 of the Black Series 3 3/4 inch. But no, some of the details on the Black Series 6
What's
inches are
wrong
just
with you
awesome.
people?
So, yeah, I also got a Mascanata because she was like $4 on Amazon. So she's not 6 inches tall because Mascanata is really small. But she actually comes with the little treasure chest that has Luke's blade in it, which is cool. And then, yeah, the one really wicked one was the original Force Awakens Kylo Ren in the mask with the cross blade hilt with the wicked, the cloak. So yeah, got those to go along with my C-3PO and my Babu Freak. Yeah, so the Star Wars Black Series collecting has begun. And then I got myself a little Force Lightning, got myself a little Emperor Palpatine. Got his little dance fingers.
Oh shit! It's a
Lightning.
movie villain.
It is a
Holy
movie villain.
God!
I thought Willie would like that. And then for my birthday, my awesome lady got me a trooper I'd never even heard of before. She got me the Purge Trooper, which, black and red being my favorite color scheme. He was really freaking cool looking. And then I didn't know what he was from. I looked on the back and realized the other ones on there, the Second Sister and Cal Kestis. I was like, oh, this is one of the troopers from the Fallen Order game.
Yeah, I killed him already.
You already killed him? All right. Well, so I haven't got to him yet.
Wait about 2 more years for Chris to even get to him.
Well, we'll see if I can get to him first because I also took advantage of the PlayStation sale and I bought the new expansion for Dead by Daylight with the Oni and Yui. And then I got the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which I've now downloaded, but I haven't started playing yet. And then I grabbed the $15 on sale version of the Norse God of War. So I got to go yell boy a couple hundred times apparently.
Boy.
So I've got those 2 games to play now. And then me and my lady finally sat down and finished watching all of The Witcher. So I finished season 1 of that show, and yeah, it's fucking awesome. And just the fact that it basically took an entire series, like an entire season, to get the 2 main characters together, I just think is amazing, awful, and great writing at the same time. Once you realize like the time lapse in that show, it's so good. Like it's such a well designed show, and just like knowing like some old school D&D stuff. Like I actually figured out a couple things that happened in the show before they happened, just because like remembering shit from role playing in like 7th grade. So I like the idea that like a lot of the Witcher stuff is based on old like D&D rules. Like when they were talking about dragons and stuff, and they were saying like a certain one had never been seen before. I was like, well, I know why some of those dragons were never seen before. And then when you learn something later on, it's like, aha, I was right.
But the important thing is, did you toss a coin to your Witcher?
I've been
Oh,
listening
Valley of
to some,
Plenty.
yeah,
Oh, Valley of Plenty.
awesome songs. And I actually just saw apparently there's a Beat Saber version of it now too. I just saved that video on YouTube, which I need to go watch.
Only on PC, sadly, because that's the only way you can have mods with that. God.
Oh,
dang.
is that why?
Because
All right.
Facebook owns them now, don't they? Didn't Facebook buy Beat Saber?
I thought Facebook bought was Oculus or was it the other one?
Facebook
Like
owns
Ruin and
Oculus.
everything.
Yeah, they bought them before it even came out.
Yeah.
So yeah, and, speaking of Beat Saber, I watched Adam Savage build a pair of lightsaber hilts for his Beat Saber controls, and I've been getting into rewatching just Adam Savage build stuff in the Mythbusters show. So I've been rewatching that on Hulu, or not rewatching, but going back and actually watching. I stopped watching Mythbusters, I think, like season 4 when it was originally airing. And so Hulu has it from, I think it's like season 11 to whenever they ended. So I started watching Mythbusters season 11 again. I've been watching a bunch of the Adam Savage builds on his YouTube channel on Tested. Like the stuff that guy does in a day for fun is just insane. His like 1,000 shot Nerf rifle mod was so fucking cool. Some of the paint jobs he did. He has one where he did a replica of the hero prop gun from Mortal Engines. Like just watching him put that stuff together is so awesome. And yeah, I just want his shop. I want everything he's got in that shop. That shop of his is so fucking cool.
Right.
I just want to go back to making stuff. Like I miss making stuff. And honestly, I thought about that a bunch and I'm still not drawing and don't have the urge to draw. But I did make a Captain America shield once, so I've been thinking about it. And I went and bought myself a Nerf gun and some tools and some masking tape. And I'm going to get some spray paint the next time I go to Michael's. And I'm going to try doing a Nerf mod and like repainting a Nerf gun to make it look like a sci-fi weapon. Try doing a couple of those, possibly sell them on eBay or something, because I miss making stuff. I used to make stuff, and I like it, and I miss it. Maybe won't be making a Captain America shield anytime soon, because that was like a $300 build, but those steel shields or steel sleds are not cheap on Amazon, and all the automotive paint is not cheap either. But yeah, I have a Captain America shield on my wall that's awesome, that's full-size metal, and I built it. And I like that. And so, yeah, I'm going to try doing like some Nerf guns and some other stuff. Work back into making something. So it won't be the same type of artistic thing as drawing. But, hey, I still got the urge to do something. Maybe it's not drawing anymore. So maybe I'll do some Nerf builds.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's what I've been getting into.
Well, guys who've been watching live, thank you so much for joining this week. Don't forget, we do this live every Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over on Geeks.live. That is the official streaming home of the Gonna Geek Network. That being said, we've talked a lot today. This is a 2-hour extended edition episode because, hey, we didn't have one last week because my computer didn't like me. So this is how we make up for it. This is the end of the Saga edition.
This is the end of the Saga edition,
right?
ATGN.
Oh, we're done? This is the last episode?
No, we're done with 9 movies.
Did I miss
Skywalker.
a meeting? We have meetings?
We're done with 9 movies of Skywalker, so we had a lot of Star Wars.
Who the fuck cares? It's fucking Star Wars.
You don't care. Me and Chris care, and a majority of the rest of the world cares.
You go
play with your Pokemons.
Whoa.
You go play with your Pokies and your Mons.
And the rest of the entire world.
Yeah. Would rather talk Star Wars than Pokemon. Yes, it's true.
Star Wars made like no money in China. I bet Pokemon makes a ton there, and I bet it does far better in Japan than it does here.
Oh, shit, I forgot to say that. Fuck China. Who cares? Go suck Winnie the Pooh's dick.
I was talking about Pokemon being more successful there. Yeah. I was backing you up.
But in the words of Babu Freak, I'm just going to go with yay!
There's nothing against you, Chris. I'm just saying fuck China.
Let's just go fuck China.
We're already banned there anyways. No one's going to hear it.
That's true. They're never gonna
they don't like puns.
We're banned in China.
Puns are the lowest form of humor, Willie.
Suck that stuffing out of Winnie the Pooh's dick, you fucking assholes.
Whoa.
You like that, didn't you?
I don't know where to go from here other than to say,
go home.
We'll see you next week. Bye, guys. See ya. Toodaloo.
Peace. Not in China, though.
Thanks for listening to this brand new episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Don't forget, we'll be back next Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over at live.atgnpodcast.com, channel 3 of the Alpha Geek Radio app, and over at our network home at GonnaGeek.com/live. If you have any feedback for the show, please contact us atgnpodcast@GonnaGeek.com, on our hotline number at 304-806-ATGN, or even better, go to Twitter and send us a message at ATGN Podcast. The music you've heard in this show is produced by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at incompetech.com.